When you can't fall asleep, 'cause he'll go balls deep on a card coming Saturday night. It's Big Browne, Big Browne, the Big Browne breakdown coming to your town. He's big and he's brown.
What is happening? Welcome to the Big Browne breakdown. Is this episode 11, I think?
11, yes.
This is episode 11. My good friend, the current light heavyweight champ of Bellator, Phil Davis, is joining us, and that interview will be up later in this episode. He came in, that was it yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday during Valentine's Day. I totally forgot it was Valentine's Day. He came in on Valentine's Day, and then the reason why this is getting up a day later is because I have to go straight from that interview with Phil, fly to Rogan Studios, that's not close to here, and do the fight companion, which was not a pre or a post-fight companion at all. Rogan had some crazy strain of weed. I think it was some mutant strain. And you guys saw, if you guys haven't seen it, watch it. Don't watch it for any fight news, facts, stats, or breakdowns. There's none of that. We talked about yoga for a while. And Rogan, it might have been the hardest I've ever laughed when he's talking about gobble gobble. And then all politics. And then Brian was doing his history teacher thing. So that's how that thing went down. And then I had a set. I left my house at 7 a.m. yesterday. I had a workout. I had the Big Browne breakdown, all the stuff we got to do for this. Phil Davis came in. I went straight from here, did the companion with Rogan and company. Was there for 4 hours doing the show. It's a 3.5 hour show, and that's in the Valley. So did that, and then went from there. Finally got food. Didn't eat all day.
You didn't get the companion?
No. Finally got food. There's like keto stuff, but I couldn't eat all it because I don't want to eat into the mic, so I had like half a bar. Finally got dinner after that, then went straight from there. I had a set at the Comedy Store.
Full day,
for Valentine's Day, man.
Did you even do anything for Valentine's?
Living the dream. Sure didn't. Sure didn't do anything. I got my girl flowers on the morning of Valentine's Day. I got her gift in San Francisco that she wanted. That was for Valentine's Day. And then I forgot to tell her I had chocolate-covered strawberries in the fridge. So I told her this morning about it. Valentine's Day kind of sucks, yeah?
Well, you did a lot of productive stuff. So, I mean, but it's that stupid, it's not a real day. It's just to make money.
It's Hallmark Day.
Yeah,
just call it Hallmark Day. Just call it what it is. Big deal. White people Hallmark Day. Yeah, whatever. But at the Comedy Store, it was interesting because Valentine's, night, and I had friends come out. My buddy Todd came out, and he was on like a double date with his wife, so it was good to see them and catch up. My buddy Stevie Blue Eyes was there. But, and it's always packed at the Comedy Store. Not that it wasn't packed, but it's, it's Valentine's Day night. Yeah. So it's a little weird. But it went well, man. And I had a beast of a call today with my team. Hopefully it's good news. Fingers crossed. I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but I'm pretty pumped about this one. It'd be a huge opportunity. So we'll see what happens there. And then, man, I'm glad to be here. And none of this feels like work. To me, I'm just in overtime. For me, it's all icing on the cake. This is not work. I love all this stuff. So let's get into it, man. Before we get into the Phil Davis interview, there's a lot of news going on right now, man.
Tons.
A ton.
Yeah.
What do you got, brother?
It's almost too much to go through, but you tell me when to stop.
All right. What do you got?
The first one
start.
The first one that just came in, maybe half an hour ago, is Holly Holm is officially appealing her UFC 208 loss because of the punches on the end of the round.
Let me, you know what? Let me start, before we get balls deep into these UFC and MMA events, let me start, and this reminded me, apologizing to every single one of my listeners for the Big Browne breakdown. I got honey dick like the rest of us. I went against my instinct, and for weeks, when they announced UFC 208, I said it's one of the worst cards of all time. And something got into me. I don't know. Maybe it was Robin Black. How, I do love every card. And I'm like, he's right. I do watch every card and I do love them. Why am I hating on this? I'm like, let me look at it. I looked at the matchups. I'm like, it's actually kind of a fun card. There's no stars, but matchup wise, this can be awesome. And I convinced you guys that it was going to be fun. And I owe you one. I fucked up. Hopefully some of you illegally streamed it. Hopefully you didn't pay $69 for that. I should say $70, $69.99. Them fights were terrible. That was one of the worst cards I've ever seen of all time. And then not only were the fights bad and there's so many mismatches, but then the fight, there's this huge cloud over the card because of the shitty reffing and judging.
Yep.
So to start, Holly Holm officially appeals UFC 208 loss due to punches landing off torn. And no shit. Here's my thing with this. Let's take those punches after the round's out. Holly still wins that fight. And people go, no, look at the CompuStrike numbers. You can't go based off CompuStrike numbers. You just can't. That doesn't dictate who wins a fight. It's hard to base everything off of just CompuStrike numbers. Depend on someone's style, the momentum, the way the fight's going down. The other thing is, let's look at the CompuStrike numbers if you want to play that game. Holly had octagon control, 9 minutes of more than that in clinch, and then she landed more kicks. Mm-hmm. But Durandamine landed more punches. Well, in this sport we're in, mixed martial arts, punches and kicks, there's no difference between the two. A hit's a hit, a strike's a strike. So you can't say, well, she landed more punches. Yeah, but she landed more kicks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So she won the kicking game. The other girl won the punching game. And then she won the octagon control, clinch control. I thought rounds 3 through 5 are clearly for Holly. I gave Holly the second round. Now let's go into the dirty play by Durandamine where she's hitting after the bell. Well, that's a 10-8 round. Those are 10-8 rounds. You can't do that. So this is what should happen. The issue is refs in UFC fights, they have pressure on them. They don't want to be responsible for messing up a fight, having a fighter lose a fight, having a fighter win the fight. Mm-hmm. There's too much pressure on them, especially a guy who's not familiar with the game like this referee. Should have been McCarthy or Herb Dean or there's a million other guys I could think of besides this guy. But it's not up to the UFC. It's up to the commission, so that it's not in their hands. The rule should be, if you want to get rid of eye gouging, eye poking, which it's an accident, but changes the dynamics of the fight. A la Travis Browne, Matt Mitrione. Mitrione was winning that fight, gets poked in the eye. How many times has Jon Jones poked a guy in the eye in championship fights? Warnings, you're putting too much pressure on the ref to go, I got to take a point, because that changes the dynamics of the game. The new rule should be, if there's an eye gouge, point taken. There's no warning, nothing. The ref doesn't have to think. That's our rules.
I agree.
It's no different than if there's a submission and the guy's tapping, that fight's over. That's not up to the ref to go, I don't know, I think you could fight out of it. No, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care about your judgment on this. That's not why you're in there. The rule should be, if there is an eye gouge, point taken. I don't care if it's accidental. If he's like, no, I didn't mean to. It doesn't matter. You change the dynamic. Now this guy has to fight with a damaged eye, blurred vision, and they give him 5 minutes. You ever been poked in the eye? Takes way longer than 5 minutes. Now think of a world-class fighter across the octagon from you with both eyes and can see clearly, but he accidentally poked you in the eye. It doesn't change the dynamics of the fight. Get 5 minutes and then let's go. Now we're even. No. That doesn't work. So eye poke, automatic point deduction. There's no, that's not up in the air. That's not for conversation, not for debate. It's not up to the ref. We know now in the rules, that's a point. All right, eye gouging. You're screwed. Kick to the nuts. Changes dynamics. How many times have we seen a guy get kicked in the nuts, doesn't fight the same? We never see him really fight the same. Again, fellas, when you're listening to this, think about when you got kicked in the nuts. Maybe it was accidental. Maybe your buddy, you're playing that game, he punched you in the nuts. Do you come back in 5 minutes? No, you don't. If they do it hard enough, you have a stomach ache. That pain doesn't go away. If you've been really kicked in the testicles, it's fucking miserable. They have cups on. The cup really doesn't help. The steel one does. That you hear the diamond steel cups do help. But if you get kicked by a Gabriel Gonzaga, Alistair Overeem, these guys who are just, you douche, it doesn't matter if you have a diamond cup on. Yeah. It's going to rattle your nutsack. 1 point taken. And I guarantee you guys will be way more calculated when they're throwing kicks now. They're not going to throw the inside of the leg high anymore. You're going to see them be way more critical and smart about it. 1 point deduction, kicked in the nuts because it changes the dynamics of the fight. It should not, bro, don't do that again. Because if I'm a coach, I'm going, listen, just eye gouge or hit after the bell because they're not going to do anything. We can win this fight. If you're down, let's eye gouge or hit after the bell. Why not? You got the refs, the current state of the commissions aren't doing shit. We can obviously win the fight. Durandamy became world champion by doing it. Let's be real. So eye gouging, kick to the nuts. If you hit an opponent after the bell, I don't care if you say, well, heat of the passion, I couldn't hear the crowd. How many fights have you been in, Jermaine Durandamy? You had how many? 30, 40 kickboxing fights? And then you've had 10 MMA fights? You know what you're doing. And you have no previous history of hitting after the bell. And so the crowd, this insane New York crowd, because they're so hyped for this fight, were so loud that you couldn't hear the bell. It's a heat of the moment. Bullshit. You have to be held responsible. You have to be held accountable for your actions. That punch that she landed after, was it the second round or third round? Second round. Second and third. But the second round, when it looked like a short elbow. I think in the replay it was a punch, actually. It almost looked like a short elbow where she wobbled her.
Yeah.
It was the best shot in the fight besides Holly's in the fourth round.
I agree too.
It was by far the best shot. Now, again, I'm trying to relate it to you guys who haven't been in fights. Think if you've ever been in a fight, street fight, at the school, wherever, and you get hit, and we go, you got 5 minutes, but you're concussed, you're not going to be the same person. Imagine getting your bell rung and then taking a test after 5 minutes. Are you going to take that same test the same as if you didn't get hit before?
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, so when they go, oh, no, it's heat of the moment, okay, but now Holly's compromised. Now you're not fighting the same Holly because you cheated, and after the time limit, you struck a opponent who wasn't prepared to get struck, and you concussed her, you wobbled her, and now she didn't get 5 minutes. She got a minute.
Yeah.
Now take a minute and then go back out there. And then Holly continued with it round. And then this is what, to me, proves the point even more so. She does it again in the third round and smiles at the camera. I'm going to wait for you guys to be like, oh my God. Yeah, you dirty fighter. I don't give a fuck what you say in interviews. The other thing is weird. She goes, she knows what she did. She goes, I'll give Holly a rematch. Mm-hmm. She's doing that for two reasons. One, she knows she bullshit her way through that fight. You did not win that fight. That is bullshit. The other thing is, you go ahead and hit Cyborg after the bell. Do that. First of all, you're not going to make it through the first round. And if you do me a favor and treat Cyborg the way you treated Holly. Let me know how that turns out for you. Holly's a sweetheart. It's not in her demeanor. It's not in her nature to lash back out. You fight a dog who you hit after the belt, they're going to get you back.
Yeah.
They're going to play that game. Because guess what? No one's taking points. So, we playing prison rules now. You're going to hit me after the bell? Oh, fuck it. And, oh, wow, and you wobbled me? Watch this. Watch what happens now. Holly's just too nice of a person. You fight a dog, you're in trouble, man. So A, she didn't win that fight. B, she bullshitted her way through that through the interviews, and then she goes, I'll give her a rematch. Because in the ring they go, now Cyborg, it doesn't look like she's going to be suspended. That's who next. She goes, what'd you say? She goes, Cyborg, it looks like Cyborg, she's not going to be suspended. They're actually, they're going to find an exemption for her. And she's like, oh, yeah. Fuck. You say Cyborg? Yeah, my fucking hand hurts, man. Yeah, I better get it checked out. I'm going to be on ice for a little bit. So this made-up 145-pound division with 3 girls in it, where they should bring that girl who's tatted up, I think she's Australian from Invicta. Why you don't bring her over ASAP is ridiculous. Have Holly fight her. Have someone fight her. Obviously, have someone fight her and bring her to the UFC because the division's not deep enough. So you have basically this fake division with no one in it. You have an interim belt between a girl who's 0-2 against Durandamy, who's had shit wins. Then you have horrible refereeing. You have the supposed champ cheating. You have the girl who they've created the division for suspected of doping.
Yeah.
So it's just this huge, horrible, dark cloud over this division.
Yep.
The division's tied up. Durandamy's injured. Holly's, trying to revoke the decision, appeal the decision. You don't have a lot of depth. I don't know. It's very, very murky right now for that division. Holly is in every right in every way possible to appeal this loss.
Yeah, everyone said it. Everyone said that, dude.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? If that's how you want to play it, if I fight in New York, why would it? And remember, it's a fight. Let's take sport out of it, because some of you are going, let's give Duranamine a pass. And I'm a coach. I'm going, hey, so if this first round's close, I want you to land an elbow on his face, because they're not going to take a point away. And then that second round, he's going to minute the rest. He won't be recovered. Let's go ahead and try and finish him.
No.
Welcome to New York, everybody. I would not fight there. If I'm Conor McGregor, if I'm Jon Jones, DC Anthony Rumble Johnson, good luck, fellas. If I'm, this huge draw, I'm fighting anywhere but New York. They're not ready for this level of MMA. The commission's not. Through the Rashad thing, what are you talking about? Through the Rashad thing where he got cleared by multiple doctors, then New York is scared shitless, so they don't let him fight in his hometown, his home state. It's weird, man. They're just not ready. They're not ready. And we shouldn't be putting, it cost Holly a world championship. It cost Brunson a win, the biggest win of his career. They're just not ready.
So if you were to fight there, you would make sure ahead of time that you would have the refs that you would want, that you trust the most to be there.
Doesn't
but then
work
even then,
the commission
the
doesn't work that way. You can't recommend people. You can't do that. If I'm Connor, if I'm GSP, I don't know if DC is a big enough draw. If I'm a big name in the UFC, I'm going, I'll fight anywhere but New York. Until they get their shit together, until they get more experience. And for sure, don't give me the guy who reffed Holly's stuff. Do not give me that guy. Again, they have to be held accountable for their actions. Because if this is, name any other job, if you mess up in any other capacity at any other job, think about the job you're sitting at right now, and you mess up horribly, you just miss something, or you're afraid to make a mistake, or you see something going wrong and you don't do anything. If I'm a cop and I see something bad, I go, God, I should probably warn him. I'm not going to, because I just don't want to deal with it right now. And then let's say that person gets shot. You're like, fuck, man, you're going to lose your job.
Yep.
You saw it. You're in there to protect the fighters, and you did not do that. Who do they answer to? I don't know the fucking guy's Twitter handle. I doubt he's even on Twitter. So, so he gets a backlash social media-wise? Who gives a fuck? The guy's 40 as fuck. He shouldn't be on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So who holds him accountable? Who holds the judges accountable when there's horrible decision-making? In that Brunson-Anderson Silva fight, who in the right mind, and I'm the guy who bet on the fight, I had money on it. Anderson Silva didn't win the fight. If Anderson's name is Bob Silva, he doesn't win that fight. Those guys were infatuated with Anderson Silva.
Heard that
They're
too.
like, oh my God, look at Anderson. What? Who gives a fuck? He had dad bod. He lost the fight. He did nothing. He fights and you're crazy to rank him number 7 or number 8 Cheeto fingers. What are you talking about? Give him one of those killers in the top 5. And let me know how that goes for Anderson Silva. Brunson beat him and fought terribly. I'm not defending Brunson. He did shit. He respected him too much. He still won the fight. He landed the takedowns, didn't do anything with him. I don't give a fuck. Let's go over the rules. A takedown's a big deal. He controlled the fight. He took him down. That's a big deal. Just because he didn't submit him or ground and pound, that still counts. That's still more action than Anderson Silva did. Anderson Silva, all he did is do close guards. So what do you do there? And then back to the Holly Holm fight, when she had the underhook against the cage, that's dominating a position. There's no difference than being on the ground and having half guard. But you're standing. Yeah. You're still dominating position. Duranamine doesn't want to be there. You're imposing your will and forcing her to have her back against the cage. All she wants to do is strike, right? She can't strike there. That's not the game she wants to play. So who's winning that battle?
Holly, for sure.
Correct. So that means you're winning the fight. I don't care if it's boring to you guys. I don't care if the ref's like, I better do something here. So let me get this straight. You won't take a point away when she rocks her with an overhand right after the bell. You won't take a point away when she does it the exact same thing the next round and smiles at the camera. But then when they're in the clinch in the 4th round or 5th round and you hear boos, you feel pressure to break them up to give Duranamine an advantage on the feet. Because what she wants to do is strike. But Holly can wrestle and strike. So, I mean, and listen, there's just, I don't know.
I know
Our last episode did about 1.3 million. But listen, it's just me and you. Let's ignore all of them. Let's just, it's the biggest MMA show in the world. Anyways, it's just me and you, ref. You bet on Duran and me? You bullshitting? Come on, it's just me and you, man. Because it's very apparent who you wanted to win, sir. You can't have that, man. You just can't have that. It's ridiculous. And again, he goes on. He'll probably be the ref of DC Rumble. He'll at least be there ref in one of the fights. Guarantee it. It's crazy.
I know in this particular article that Holly specifically is filing a complaint against that guy, Todd Anderson. Mm-hmm. But it's towards the commission. So the commission to review his whatever decision. And real quick to
remember, it's an ego it's a pissing contest here because New York doesn't want to look bad. If they go, our ref fucked up. That's our fault for putting him there.
They don't want to do that.
No, they don't want to look bad. They just got big fights.
Yeah. Oh, when you were saying that if you got concussed and then you're taking a test, that made me remember when I played football with friends one day, and we were just playing football with friends. I got hit really hard. I tried to drive home hours later, and I couldn't focus on my driving. That's how bad I was hit. So I can't imagine 1 minute from getting hit, how you recover from that.
And now think about your motor skills, trying to put combos together and your reaction time. It's going to suffer. It changes the dynamics of the fight.
Big time,
Yet you do nothing about it. A warning isn't enough. No. There should be, again, and we'll move on after this, there should be zero tolerance. After the bell, 1 point. Kick the nuts, 1 point.
Yeah.
Eye gouging, 1 point. I guarantee you do that, you will see none of that. It will go down significantly. I'm telling you will see zero of it. Why not? I don't want someone to lose because they got kicked in the nuts. Mm-hmm. I don't want Holly to lose the biggest fight of her life because she got hit after the bell, even though she still won the fight. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see. Imagine Conor and GSP fighting next, and GSP accidentally rocks Conor in the nuts and then takes him down because of that. That doesn't mean he's a better fighter. What? I paid $70. Would you pay for the fight if you went, hey, so they're going to start this fight, the other guy gets kicked the other one in the nuts? No. That's dirty. We don't want to see that bullshit. Might as well blindfold one guy. Would you watch that? I wouldn't. Why not make it so it's zero tolerance policy? Make the sport pure if you want it. What else you got, brother?
I agree 100%, too. The next one is, since you were talking about George St. Pierre, that came out that according to multiple sources, he will be fighting for the UFC on a multi-fight deal.
Yep,
it's just waiting on it.
Yep, my sources, and we have, we're both represented by CAA. Shout out to CAA. He is coming back to the UFC, multi-fight deal, and he's only fighting for the title, or obviously super fights. You guys know that, but I think he's only fighting for a title. The only super fight I could see happening, if he wants a warm-up fight, it'd be Anderson Silva. The fight we've all been waiting for. Granted, it's GSP's been gone for how many? 4 years, 5 years, 4 years, and it's Anderson Silva with dad bod. Not exactly what I had in my mind when that matchup went down. I'll take it, I guess. I'll take it. It'd be a good warm up for GSP. You got two big names. All the UFC cares about is big names and getting numbers. That would do it. I could see Anderson Silva happening. The other fight would be Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
if you think about it, because let's say, because the egos and money and contractual hiccups, Conor doesn't fight Floyd Mayweather. What's the only other fight that could get fans excited? It ain't Nurmagomedov. It ain't Tony Ferguson. It's not Nate Diaz, really. Maybe Nate Diaz. You have an argument for that. It's the only super fight that could get us over the depression of the Floyd Mayweather super fight not happening, the biggest fight of all time, would be if he fought a guy like GSP. And that's a tough matchup for Conor McGregor. It's also a tough matchup for GSP, though. GSP does get hit. His last fight, if you remember, he ate a lot of punches. You can't really eat that many punches for Conor McGregor. Not as many as he's been eating in his previous fights. And who knows where GSP is mentally. Again, it's a perfect time for GSP to come back because the huge kind of hiccup with him in the UFC was Under Armour paid him a shitload of money. This new Reebok deal screws him over more than anyone in the history of this deal. And he goes, I can't do it. I'm losing this money. And they go, we're fine. We're doing our thing. Now you really have no stars. You have Conor, but he has so much power. He's kind of saying, fuck you guys. Ronda's obviously out. Brock was like, I'm not, what? You can't test me. I'm going to do some weird shit and hit people over the head with chairs and make money over here. Makes sense. I don't blame him. So the UFC was finally like, we got to pay GSP. We got to figure it out. So they obviously figured out it was a money thing. The Under Armour Reebok was the hold up. It seems like they came to agreement. And they obviously and very clearly need him. So they put up the bat signal for a star. He's really the only megastar left. But again, what kind of star power does he have? Because you have this new wave of fans right now. In the last 3 years, you have a new wave of fan with the Fox deal, with everything going on, WME buying them. The marketing's different. There's guys who are amazing fighters who aren't draws anymore. Or there's guys who are amazing fighters who they just, for whatever reason, aren't getting the publicity they need, or they're just not connecting with the fan base. I'm curious to see how GSP's gonna do, because he was a major draw. He's the biggest draw for a long, long time. Yeah. In Canada, I'm sure he can't do any wrong. So you can have the Canada audience, which is huge. And I always say, the capital of fighting, the capital of mixed martial arts, the capital of the UFC is in Toronto.
You said it many times. Yes.
I'm telling you, I've been there for expos. I've been there for fights. I fought in Vancouver. I've been in. I went to GSP Jake Shields in the the Toronto Center, where it's the biggest live crowd of all time. I think Ronda's beat in Australia, but at the time it was the biggest. I've never seen anything like it. They're fanatics in a great way, not in a weird, dangerous way like Brazil. They're great. They're great. So I don't think GSP star diminishes in Canada. It's me interesting to see how he translates to the rest of the U.S. and internationally. But there's some fun fights for him. That's for sure. I'd be interested to see what kind of money they came to agreement to.
I couldn't even imagine, especially if they don't have Under Armour as a sponsor. But would you think that if he came back, just his first comeback fight was Conor, versus if he came back, fought, won, and then fought again, would be more anticipation for his first comeback fight?
Let's say him and Conor fight. There's no title on the line. Yeah, so that really doesn't make sense. It's a fun super fight. Conor still keeps his belt at 45 and 55. I know they took the belt from 45 from. I saw Merck, the champion. So don't give me that bullshit. Am I still the 45-55 champ? So at 70, there's no belt. Yeah. If you guys throw an interim belt, I'm gonna bust in a bad way. So you really want to fight super fights. Conor, I guess if the money was right, he might do it. It's a better fight for him than Khabib, though, I'll tell you that. But for GSP, let's say Conor's out the window. Conor's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'll defend my title at 55 and fight Nate Diaz. So for Conor, it's Floyd Mayweather number 1, Nate Diaz number 2, GSP number 3. That's what I think his priorities are and should be. Anyways, for GSP, it's maybe Conor, or he fights the winner of Woodley Thompson, because this timing's perfect because those guys fight early March, right? March 4th, UFC 209. And we're doing the first Big Brown breakdown live, sold out Ice House. Shout out to Ice House, Pasadena, all you guys that bought tickets. But so he could fight the winner of Woodley, Wonderboy, at 70 for the world title. That makes sense. Wonderboy versus him would make sense. They've trained a lot together.
Oh, that'd be weird for them, wouldn't it?
A lot together. Yeah. He's the one that introduced Thompson to mixed martial arts, that brought Thompson to Grudge Training Center in Denver, that brought Thompson to TriStar, so that'd be very interesting. I don't think Thompson wins that fight, but we'll get to that breakdown when it comes. And then him versus Woodley would be fun because Woodley's such a good wrestler. GSP's the best MMA wrestler of all time, so you have pure wrestler versus MMA wrestler. That'd be fun. I think what's more realistic that could happen is GSP versus Bisping. Because I think GSP's he's a big 70-year, right? He's a lean 190, 185 with no IVs too. He hasn't cut weight in a while. Him versus Michael Bisping makes sense. Bisping, I don't know what's going on with him as far as injuries, stuff like that. Bisping wants a huge fight. He's a big international draw. GSP is a big international draw. It's for the belt. I could see him fighting Bisping at 85. That's what I think is going to happen.
They've been wanting to fight.
If I had to put money on it, I would say he fights Bisping at 85 for the belt.
Sounds about right.
If you're looking at all the matches, what makes sense, Conor gets too muddy. There's all these divisions that are held up. It's super muddy, but you get ratings. But these new owners, I have no idea. The motherfucker might be fighting Dada 5000. I have no idea. The new owners, I don't know. But if I had to put money on it, he's fighting Bisping. What else you got?
Okay, just touching on that, Chris Cyborg. Dana White and her has said that it's looking really, really good that her spironolactone thing that she failed for, that she will be able to get that retroactive TUE because she had 3 conditions or something that where the doctor prescribed it. And I don't really get how you can get a retroactive TUE, but they said it's looking really good. So maybe her suspension will be decreased a lot and she'll be able to fight.
Mm-hmm. They'll figure it out, especially now with that cluttered 145 women's division. I mean, good for her. You know, I think a lot of people will get heat, and I'm one of them. I took, I threw a lot of shade her way. You know, when she did test positive, it's like, no shit. That's not just out of the blue, though. She's tested positive before. She's a history of it. It's like when Overeem tests positive, like, no shit. We're allowed to go bad on him. With her, if you have a history of it, like Chael, Overeem, there's certain guys, you know, Josh Barnett. Yeah,
Josh Barnett for sure.
Josh Barnett been caught like 90 times. He doesn't give a fuck. But with Cyborg, it's like, of course she's doing it. So you're gonna throw shade her way because she's murking these girls. So with this and the exemption, that's tricky. I wonder that therapeutic use exemption. I wonder what all that includes. Is it just that one, or does she have it for testosterone? Like, what else does that exemption include? Is it just that one?
I think it's just that one.
Is that just that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Then who knows how much it helps her. But everybody's screwed in that. Everybody. She reigning champ till, you know, she turns 50. I don't know who's going to beat her. Again, that girl, I can't think of her name. I watched her fight. She fights in Invicta. Pretty girl. 145er. She's the champ over there. They should just import all the 145 Invicta girls into the UFC if you want to get that division rolling.
I'm going through the champs here.
She just fought.
Oh, I'm going to the first ones. So January 14th, 2000, Tweet versus Anderson. Maybe it's was it like a kickboxing promotion or something?
No, it's Megan Anderson.
Oh, Megan Anderson.
I think click on her. You see it right down there?
No.
You just had it.
I'll go back.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Click on there.
I don't see a picture, but let me look her up real quick.
She's Australian, am I right, or New Zealand?
Australian.
I get those confused.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, guys.
Australian.
Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
Oh, yeah.
Look at her.
Tattooed.
Look up there. Good-looking girl. Marketable.
Looks strong.
Beast. Cyborg. What's up? Megan Anderson. Cyborg. Make it happen. Or give Megan Holly with Durandamy's with her hand. She's trying to figure things out.
Wow. 4 TKOs.
Look at her.
That's crazy.
Submission. TKO, head kick, TKO. She's a monster, man. Why not? Bring her on over. Marketable, good-looking, Australian. We need more Australian stars. There's a million reasons why you should bring her over. I'm sure they're working on it. I don't mean to come off as mean, but Megan Anderson, get your ass in the UFC. You got work to do. Let's go ahead and work on that head movement, though, when you fight Cyborg, though, huh?
For sure. How long has it been? Cyborg hasn't fought in... Wait, she did fight, right? For
she murked some poor girl.
Oh, no,
she
for
murked
UFC.
some poor girl for the UFC in Brazil. Remember that?
Yeah.
I forget who it was. It's good God.
I hate that I forget, too, but anyways.
It's all good. Yep. Hey, how dare you forget a 140? I think it was at 140. How dare you forget a 140 catchweight female fighter? God damn it, Chin. You're fired.
I know.
What else you got, bro? Let's move on. Shout out to Megan Anderson.
Megan Anderson. So, Conor McGregor. This is like a series of things that happened. Last week, Dana White was talking to the Irish Mirror newspaper over in Ireland. And he said that there's no way that Conor and Mayweather can happen because Conor is on a 4-fight deal contract. And then this week, a source close to Conor told the Irish Sun, which is a bigger newspaper there, that everything's settled between Mayweather and Conor. Like, they're settled on their fees, their price. It's just that third-party thing that's holding him back.
The third-party thing? You mean the UFC?
Exactly.
Keep going.
So the chairman of the NSAC actually confirmed that there were real, like, legitimate discussions. And then, just today, I think earlier today or yesterday, Floyd Mayweather went on his social media and said that, there's no deal in place. I'm just enjoying my retirement. However, his most recent tweet says, "Listen, Conor, if you really want to get this fight done, take care of business with the UFC." And then
that's the third party that he's And let's be real. And I'm not throwing shade. These are just fucking facts.
Yeah.
Floyd didn't write that. No. Hey, look at me. Floyd can't read. That must be nice though, because like he has 58,000 comments on that post.
Yeah,
he can't read. So to him, it's all good. People love him. He thinks. I don't know. He can't even read. His vote doesn't count. He can't read. Who wants Frankenstein to go to bed? His vote doesn't count. He can't even read. Name the movie. Big Daddy. Adam Sandler. Anyways, I think the fight is close to happening. I think that, like I said, the red tape is Conor. This fight won't happen for a very, very, very long time if the UFC is not part of this deal. He needs Dana White to sign off on it. Dana White will do it, but you have to give him the right percentage. You have to let him work the deal. Mm-hmm. You do. It's part of the game. And I think you want him part of it. It depends how much money he's asking for. If he's asked for get paid more money than Conor, you're fucking batshit crazy. Don't be selfish. Also, you have $450 million. Let's let this fight happen. I'm sure you're not hurt for cash, but it's an ego thing. So if you're Dana, the way I propose it to him is you have a chance to be part of the biggest fight in the history of combat sports, man. Let's get it together. Yeah. Your team needs stars. You could be part of this. The UFC promotion can be part of this. Link up with Mayweather Promotions. Let's do it, man. Let's figure this out. Let's find a balance. And that's going to be the challenge. And whoever's the middleman for that, good luck.
That's bigger than money too, right? That's bigger than money. That's history.
That's what I'm saying. That's the way I'd propose it to Dana, because money. He's not money. Money's checked off. You got money. Try convincing Scrooge McDuck. Like Scrooge McDuck's set. He swims in gold coins. So you don't need to convince him on, how to get more gold coins. You got to convince him how can you get more famous? How can you add more to your milestone? How can you, on your tombstone, it's going to say, made Conor versus Floyd happen.
Yeah.
This is how, Dana. You could be part of history. Now that you're not already with the UFC, but you could be even the biggest thing you've ever been part of. Come on, man. Let's do it. Let's figure this out. They need to quit the pissing contest. And see, you got Conor, Floyd, and Dana White. How their heads even fit in the building, the meeting room, I have no idea. You don't become as successful as those guys do without having some sort of ego. But there's obviously there needs to be a kind of a reality check to get this done. Let's put all that aside and try and figure this out. Otherwise, let's cut up the bullshit and move on. Quit honey dicking everyone.
Do you think WME is more on board for this than Dana White is?
100%.
So they would actually.
Ari Emanuel is like. Yeah. He's not a purist of MMA. They just did it. It's a business deal, and it's something for them to do. They have more money than God. You look at the matchups, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You look at the promotion, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, that'd be so much fun. What? They're like kids in a candy shop.
Yeah.
Let's try and get it done. And with Dana, the purist, is like, whoa. Do you realize the magnitude of this? What we got to do, like in this and the Ali Act and Conor, and if he does it, holds up this division, and this fight's not happening. They have this happening. What happens if he gets smoked? Then we bring him back. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
But WME is like, let's do it. All right, easy. So there's a lot that has to happen. I still think the fight's going to happen. I got to be honest with you guys.
I'm praying it does. The next one is Conor is asking for a rehearing for that disciplinary thing that happened when he was throwing the water bottles. He actually went to the chairman in person on Tuesday to ask for it, and he's going to get a vote on it.
Wow.
To get it reheard.
Shit, they might do it. It's Conor McGregor.
Especially for Nevada.
Especially Nevada. And especially if you want that Floyd Mayweather fight in Nevada, they're like, God damn, he's right. Good chance something happens there where it gets... his suspension goes down, or the huge fine or the community service goes down. Yeah, I guarantee something beneficial for Conor happens because, again, Conor has the power, and it's awesome. If you're a fighter, this is awesome for a guy to have this much power. You want this because he can change the dynamics of what everyone's going through. For him to go, cool, you want to fight me $75,000? You want 50 hours of community service? I'm never fighting Vegas again. All that revenue, everything, nah, I'm good. I'll do it in Cali. I'll do it anywhere the fuck I want. I'll just, you know what? I feel like fighting Ireland now. I'm only going to fight in Ireland. I'm not going to give you guys any money. They can't. What?
Yeah.
We've never had anyone with this much power. Floyd could do it in boxing. He has that much power in boxing. But there's only 2 guys ever in the history of the sport who could do this. It's awesome. Guarantee you see him bow down to the notorious one.
Do you think it's more because of his money thing? It was $75,000, but then there's also $50,000 of community service. Do you
think all of it? It's all of it. You know, $75,000. I don't care who you are.
50 hours.
$75,000 for throwing, water bottles and monster bottles, mainly water bottles, I think. But $75,000. That's not fair. And also, again, the commission's dickheads. Think about sitting in that room like, what should we find them? How's remember at first I think it was how's 150,000 sound? I mean, where do we start? Where's our base? I don't know. He makes a lot of money. Yeah, let's do 150,000. That'd get him. Yeah, like fuck you guys. What? And then asked to do a public service announcement. Wait, you want me to shoot a commercial for Las Vegas? On what? On betting on the casinos? Well, my rate's not $75,000. That would cost you 7 figures these days. That the commercial you just shot, you got paid, I think, high 6 figures. Now you want me to do a solo broadcast, a commercial that's going to run over and over on loop for $75,000? The fuck? I'm telling you, the commission's out of tune. You got old people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, making up values and suspension. Fuck you! What world are we living in? He needs to pull the power card here.
He's definitely doing it.
He's gonna do it. Guarantee they bow down. Watch. What else you got?
All right, next one is just a fight announcement that alumni of Big Browne Breakdown, Alan Jouban's going to be fighting Gunnar Nelson.
Oh, I love
London.
this.
Yeah.
Gunnar Nelson versus Alan Jouban, powerful B3 alumni, Alan Jouban. And he was saying he wants a big fight, a top 15 fight. This will do it. I love the matchup for him. If Alan can avoid the ground game, and Gunnar does have, some impressive knockout victories. And, he had the impressive knockout over Brandon Thatch, who's a striking master, but, he got caught, didn't show enough respect to Gunnar. So Gunnar has that left hook that finished Thatch. But if Alan can keep it on the feet, I love this fight for Alan. And this is his chance to, crack the top 10, top 12. I love this fight for him.
That's what he was asking for, too, right? For the biggest time.
I love
over
it,
here,
man.
too.
I love it.
That's awesome.
It's an easier flight for Gunnar Nelson than it is him from LA to London, but that's all good. Part of the game.
Sweet. I wanted to ask you about this one before you went it off to Rogan's yesterday. So Mike Goldberg tweeted, I think it was yesterday. So he tweeted, "Thanks for the love and support. Miss calling fights at UFC 208." And he's tweeting to Joe Rogan. And then he goes, "You'll see me around soon, wink."
See me around
Dream
soon.
Team.
A winky. Hashtag Dream Team.
Yeah.
I agree with him. Him and Joe Rogan, Goldberg and Joe Rogan were the Dream Team. You can't really duplicate that. You can't really replace that. It's nothing against DC. It's nothing against John Anik. John Anik took a little bit of a backseat, didn't say much at all. You have 2 guys, DC and Rogan, are basically the same job. Describing what's going on, what they see, what they think's going to happen, the momentum of the fight, who's doing what. They're doing the same job. So they have to share that airtime. Where in general, we're used to, Goldie feeding off of Rogan and Rogan doing his thing. And you get into a flow, man, where you want that one voice. You want that one kind of rhythm. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And then you get distracted when that another drum starts playing. You're like, all right, well, that's cool too, but I was kind of comfy with this one, And then you have a fucking clarinet. All right, and that'd be Anik. And I'm not saying he's annoying. It sounds like clarinet. I'm just saying if you put it in music, you have this nice drum beat going.
I know what
rhythm,
you're saying.
Rhythm. Honk. Oh, God damn. All right. Well, that's good info, but I'm trying to. So I just. They got to figure out. It wasn't bad. It wasn't as smooth, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't expect to be. I think Anik's a beast. I think he's one of the smartest guys in the game. I love Anik. He knows that.
Too, yeah.
I think they just got to find the happy medium. I don't think that's it though. I'd rather have Rogan and Anik. Because Anik knows his stuff, note to a T. He's been doing it for so long. He started at ESPN. He has the John Anik, Kenny Florian podcast. I love. Shout out to Kenny and Anik on that. I love that show. And then so Anik's been in the game for so long. He's a knowledgeable guy, and he won't try to like Goldberg was in his lane. You know, he'd do the virtually identical.
Yes, he would.
Inside the octagon. Like he had his stuff, but it didn't overwhelm Rogan. Rogan had his stuff. I don't think Anik would overwhelm Rogan. Rogan still do his thing. But the focal point, the captain of this team, the Tony Romo of this commentating, the freaking LeBron James of that commentating team is Joe Rogan. Then you got to add people who, you know, make him better or actually can fit in the mold. Like you can't have Carmelo Anthony join LeBron James. There's not enough basketballs. Well, there's not enough fights for DC and Rogan to talk like that, and then have Anik try to chime in. There's not enough. There's just not enough fights. The fights aren't long enough for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Carmelo's great on his own. DC's great on fight nights with other guys, but I don't think it's a match with Rogan and Anik.
You need harmony, right? Just harmony all the way through. Harmony.
They're all great in their own space.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they work great together.
What do you mean? What do you think he meant by this? You'll see me around.
You'll see me around?
Wink. For some reason, when I first saw this, I thought, oh crap, is he doing something with Rogan for UFC again? Which was ridiculous.
I'd love it if he joined us on a companion. That'd be sick.
Hell yeah.
And I would just keep going, virtually identical.
Dude, that would be rad.
Right back in the octagon. And then I have a fake ring like he holds up. Inside the octagon. No. You'll see me around. What if you like, see me around? Honk. I just landed a deal on Inside MMA. Just some shitty gig. I'm the head commentator in Invicta. See you around. No, that would suck. That'd be depressing as shit. Hopefully, you'll see me around. Winky face, Bellator. That'd be a great fit. Because we associate Mike Goldberg with MMA.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bellator. I mean, my mom loves Mike Goldberg. My family and friends love hearing Mike Goldberg. Whether it's at Bellator or UFC, they don't give a fuck. No one cares. What he shouldn't do is just go do another sport. Bellator would be a great fit. Bellator could really use him. Not that their commentating is bad. They could use Mike Goldberg. I'm being nice there. I love Scott Coker. I love Bellator. You guys know this. They have a huge fight this weekend, which I'm going to break down. Get Goldberg. What else you got, brother?
How many more you want?
Let's do 2 more.
2 more. Let's run through these. Oh, so instant replay. I don't know what this means exactly because I thought it meant that they passed the rule like it's happening, but apparently it's passed like it's going into it's going to be picked up. Like its chances are it's going to be actually passing, but it didn't pass yet. So instant replay for a referee to get an instant replay if he feels that something near the end of the fight that was a foul caused the fight decision.
Too much power for a referee. You're giving him too much power.
Especially after this last fight.
Yes.
Right?
Can you imagine that dork deciding?
Well, actually, would that be good or
no?
Bad? Okay.
No. You're giving too much. There has to be an outside source. They're not in the stadium. They're not in the venue. They're outside, watch on TV like we are. And and then McCarthy has a thing on him and it buzzes. You know how in the NFL there has to be a red flag from the head coach, like, hey, we want to challenge this. Well, we're going to have an off committee, and that's their job. All they do is look for replays.
That's good.
And what's important, they buzz John, and he, boom. But at the end of the round, they go, we're going to go back to replay. You know, but they're not influenced by the crowd. You can't. McCarthy might be, or maybe Herb Dean, but McCarthy's the only guy I would trust that to call in the heat of the action instant replay. He's the only one. He's the exception. The rest of them, hell no, son. No way. So don't put that much pressure on them. Just let them do their job. Don't keep adding shit on them. You know what I'm saying? So giving police fucking bazookas. And I'll only use this when the time is right. Well, goddamn, I've never fired bazooka. Freeze! Jesus Christ, man. I was a kid. Anyways, I was like so extreme. Gotta relax. Extreme. However, McCarthy's the only one who could handle that much pressure. Don't add to their job because we're obviously having some issues with it. You leave it to an outside committee to do that.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be going through. And another thing on this same article, did you guys ever were talked to about if you guys accidentally, pooed your pants? Does that sound lame? Pooed your pants?
Yeah, you actually took a dump. Say shit, bro.
Shit your pants?
Yeah, you're too old to say poo.
I know, I'm
though.
sorry.
Yeah, I even have a son. Don't say poo. Whatever.
My bad. But if you do that during a fight, did they ever tell you like, oh, so this happens, this is gonna happen?
Never.
So now, if you do it, it's a TKO. You lose by TKO.
Holy shit! So if I knee a guy in the stomach, he shits his pants, I win.
Yeah.
New techniques. Crazy. New techniques. Going to that body, son.
They could even give him stuff before the fight. Sneaking in their drinks. That's terrible.
That's what. We have so much to worry about in this current state of mixed martial arts in the UFC. I'm not too worried about instant replay for someone shitting their pants. I got more to worry about, man. Anyway, commission. Let's do one more.
Okay. Oh, God.
That's ridiculous.
Let's see. Did that. Oh, this guy. We were talking about David Branch last week. He was saying, he gave up his middleweight and light heavyweight titles.
Yep.
Didn't say why. Well, he signed with the UFC.
Nice, man. Yeah. And he's obviously going to be fighting at 85. He's going to give a lot of guys problems. Now, at 85, top 5? No. Is he top 10? Maybe 10. He would murk Anderson Silva right now. He would destroy Anderson Silva. He'd beat Brunson, too. You look at the top 10 85ers in the world, he would beat him.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's because of the ranking. There's no one's held accountable for ranking guys certain rankings. He'd beat Brunson. And you're going, well, look how he did in the UFC before. I get. Now you're talking about he has champion swagger now. He has confidence. He has experience. He's a light heavyweight champion of the world. He's a middleweight champion of the world. I don't care what it's from. He did do it. He did beat pretty tough guys. Not UFC caliber per se, but he's still a champion in retrospect in those divisions in the best competition at the time that was offered. So he's more mature, has more skills. He does have that champion swagger. Can you bring up the 185ers, top 15 85ers? I'll go through who I think he'll beat. He'll beat Brunson right now. He'll destroy Anderson Silva.
For all organizations or just UFC? So this is all.
This is all, which
according to Tapology.
Basically means UFC. Yeah. There's no one. So, so let me, no. He beat Belfort right now. He'd beat Belfort, who's ranked number 8 in the world right now. He beat Anderson Silva with the quickness, who's ranked number 9 now. He'd beat Brunson, who's ranked number 10. Thales Leedy is a fun fight for him. That's a good matchup. I'd love to see that. Mm-hmm. I would probably give him the pass on that. And then Uriah Hall, he beat Uriah Hall. Kelvin Gastelum, he's fighting at 70, doesn't count. Sam Alvey, he would destroy. Tim Boetsch, he would beat. Brad Tavares, he would beat. Natal, be a fun fight. So, you know what I'm saying? You look at these guys, and he's a top 10 guy. Not top 5. He's a far cry from top 5. But he's not top. I'm ranking him from 7 to 12 with the quickness. He's going to beat a lot of those 7 to 12 guys.
Good sign for UFC, though.
For sure. Cool. I mean, it's World Series of Fighting, so, let's not get carried away.
I forgot to do this one. We were talking about this yesterday. Shout out to that guy, James Mutasari, because he retired at 28.
The Moon. You retired at 28? Yeah. I like that guy. I see him training at Black House all the time. He was a fun fighter to watch, too. Great stand-up, man. Why did he you're obviously bringing this up because he's Korean. I get it.
Well, I found out he's half Korean and half Thai, so I thought it was full Korean. But no.
You'll claim him, though.
Yeah, I'll claim him.
It's like the way black people claim Tiger
He was really
Woods.
fun to watch, too.
He was half Asian. Half Asian. Asians really didn't claim him, did they?
No.
It is strange.
We wanted to, but he didn't want us.
I know. It's fucked up. Greatest golfer of all time. When he went dark, then everyone was like, we don't want him.
We didn't want him then.
Yeah, I'll claim him. Anyways, James Moonstari.
Yeah, Moontasri.
Also known as the Moonwalker.
Yeah.
Did he say why he retired at 28?
He just said he accomplished. He was given a fair chance with everything. He accomplished everything he wanted to do in MMA, and he wants to still be in it. But he's just really happy for where he's at. I guess he lost his last 2 and just felt like.
What was his record? Can you bring up his history in the UFC? I saw he had some tough fights. He had some fun fights. He was like back and forth.
Yeah.
So he started with Joe Ellenberger, split decision. And Joe Ellenberger's a tough customer. Mm-hmm. He lost, he won. He lost, he won. He lost. I can't blame him, man. He was a fun guy to watch. He's not a world beater. And then he missed weight a bunch too. So that's an issue. Yeah, twice. So again, not a world beater, but this isn't. And again, for you fighters listening. And maybe he has other options, he's a very well-spoken guy, smart guy, outgoing, young. Yeah. I'm sure he has options, 100%. Good-looking dude, has his shit together, nice guy, one of the nicest guys you ever meet. Phenomenal stand-up, obviously a good athlete. But this sport, it's different than the NFL. If I'm the 53rd man on the roster in the NFL and I'm just on special teams, I'm just a guy, I still get benefits. I'm not taking that much damage. I'm still part of the NFL. I'm getting cool experience. If I'm just a guy in the UFC, I'm getting paid the minimum from Reebok. I'm fighting maybe 3 times a year if I'm lucky. I'm fighting unknown guys. I'm also fighting on the undercards. I'm losing. I'm winning. I'm really not making that much money. To be honest with you, you guys can go through the numbers. I'd make more money if I was full-time at Starbucks, and plus I get benefits there. This gig's too hard to be just a guy. I'm not saying he's just a guy because he's fun to watch, but looking at his record, he would be. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, loss. And he's also... he's not fighting the who's who of the UFC either. So I think it takes such balls and just the tenacity and it's just so brave because it's easy to go, well, they're giving me more fights. I can keep doing this, man. And all it's doing is delaying what you're supposed to do in your life. So, shout out to this guy, man. And it's the same thing happened to that linebacker in the NFL. He was a starting linebacker in the NFL, and he just became a starter for the 49ers. It's like, man, this isn't worth it. Like, I want to be able to play with my kids, stuff like that. It's you got to have big cojones to do that. It's an impossible decision to make. Good for him, man.
Cool, man.
Should we break down these fights real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Although me and Phil kind of did it, but...
I'll just throw it up there, and if you want to...
Okay, so you want to start with Bellator, which it's on Spike TV, 9 p.m. Eastern, so that's 6 p.m. Pacific time, live on Spike TV. You're going to see Fedor Emelianenko fight Matt Mitrione. So Fedor versus Matt Mitrione. Obviously, Matt and I are boys. And then the whole main card is it's probably the best as far as like matchups, and you don't have these gimmick fights on that Bellator's done in a while. I love this card. I think we'll just start with the main card. I'm sorry, with the main event. It's such an intriguing fight because Mitrione, he's looked good in Bellator. Hasn't looked like a world beater. His fight against Carl Semonatafa, who's a thick, I want to say Polynesian or Hawaiian dude. And shout out to him. He trained with Tariq Azim and the guys at Empower, and he's known as a power puncher. He landed a huge shot on Matt and sat Matt down. And it looked like Matt was going to lose that fight. Matt ends up, clipping him and then ground and pound him, getting the win. So again, that one's a little scary for Matt, his first fight. And then he fought Ollie Thompson, and it went to a late second round. And that was a kind of a bloody, kind of slobber knocker fight. And then you get Fedor. So, Matt hasn't knocked anyone's ears off in Bellator yet. And, this, no disrespect to Carl or Ollie Thompson. Trying to be nice. Those guys aren't shit because it compared, and that's with all due respect, those guys aren't shit compared to, let's go through who Matt fought in the UFC. It was just up there. Go back for me. Travis Browne. He's fallen hard times, but still, Travis Browne punched him in the eye. But when you go from fighting Travis Browne to Carl and Ollie Thompson, that's what I mean by that. Yeah. There's no disrespect there. And then before that, he fought Ben Rothwell. Before that, he fought Gabriel Gonzaga. Before that, he fought Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, beat him in 40 seconds. Before that, Sean Jordan. Then he had one hell of a fight on his hands with Brendan Schaub. And then Philip DeVries, Roy Nelson, Czech Congo. So you go through the list. It's the who's who of the UFC. And at the time we fought Derek Lewis, that's Derek's last loss. And then obviously Derek, we find out how talented and how much of a beast he is. Yeah. He's the main event on Sunday for the UFC, which we'll get to. So all I'm saying is Matt hasn't knocked anyone's ears off fighting that competition from the UFC to Bellator. This is his shot at a Fedor, obviously a more weathered Fedor. The huge X factor for me in this fight is what type of Matt is mentally is coming to this fight. Matt should win this fight because Matt's faster, he's younger, he has a great chin, he has momentum on his side. He's fought in Bellator before. It's in the United States, not that far from Matt. It's Matt's opportunity. He's fighting a legend. It's very rare you get to fight legends in the sport, especially a guy like Fedor, Crow Cop, you get Shogun, Big Nog. There's so many, Chuck Liddell. If you get a shot at one of those walking legends, you got to take advantage of the opportunity. Now, on the other side with Fedor, where do we even start? I mean, you're talking, he's fought the Murderers Row, right? Crow Cop, Big Nog, Hunt, Coleman, Linlin, Tim Sylvia, Andre Arlovsky, Fabricio Verdum, Bigfoot, Dan Henderson, Munson, Ishii. You go through just this freaking lineup, and some regard him as the best MMA fighter of all time, despite weight categories. And you look at his Pride days. And then he's been, let's be real. Again, no disrespect. Let's be real. He's been playing grab ass and rising in Russia, and he's only fighting in Russia and Moscow. And he fought Jeff Munson. He fought Ishii, Pedro Izzo, who's old as fuck now. Shout out to Pedro Izzo, still love him. Then that Singh Jadip guy, get the fuck out of my face with that fight. What are you doing? And then he fought Fabiano Maldonado, who he won by decision. He lost that fight, actually. Let's be real. If it's anywhere in Russia, and his name was Fedor Dan, he sure as fuck isn't getting the decision. Fabiano even tried to boycott that decision, and it looked like it was going his way, but it's Russia, so what are you going to do? You're just lucky you got out there alive, and they didn't kill you, throw you into the Russian snow. Let's be real, Fabio. So Fedor didn't win that fight. Fedor's looked terrible. The Ishii fight's a big win. Jeff Munson decision. Jeff's always tough. But then after that, so what Fedor comes to this fight? What Fedor is bringing this product to the United States fighting in San Jose? We don't know. And that's the huge X factor. Just like I said in Ronda's fight, those X factors are everything. It's not something you just gloss over and put money on Fedor. With Ronda, it's not like, I haven't fought in 411 days. She's going black on the media. She's not talking to anyone. Well, those are red flags, and that's not something you gloss over because we see how that goes. Because nothing's more mental than fighting at this high of a level. It's everything. It's the difference between winning and losing. It's everything. Everyone's skilled. Everyone hits hard. Everyone knows jiu-jitsu. Everyone knows striking. Everyone knows how to wrestle at this level. It's where you're at here. So, and I'm pointing to my head for those of you guys just listening. So, what Mitrione are we going to get? What Fedor are we going to get? I don't think he goes out of the first round. I think Matt goes balls to the wall like he did in certain aspects when he fought Ollie. When in the Carl fight, Matt goes, fuck it, I have a good chin. Let's see what happens. Matt's quicker. He hits harder. I think Fedor's old, basing off his Fabio fight. Granted, Fabio's style kind of makes people fight ugly, so let's not give Fabio too much credit. But still. Fedor looks for that one punch knockout too. He hasn't evolved with the game that much. I will take Matt Mitrione via KO in the first round.
Wow.
What do you got, Jen?
I think Mitrione wins too, but same thing. TKO. How's
TKO
that?
First round.
Yeah.
You think he clips him and ground and pounds him?
Just like he did with Cinematafa and when he took him out,
he
clipped him.
Yeah,
Cinematafa when he hit him and then he just kept going on the ground.
That's fair. That's the same.
Has Fedor been completely knocked out before?
No.
So this might be the time.
Well, you mean like flatlined?
I mean, KO, like the referee's only in there because the guy's not moving.
Yeah, no. I mean, Dan Henderson clipped him, then finished him up. Remember, he got behind him when he was uppercut and he went flat. But that wasn't like a one-punch knockout. Yeah. Antonio Silva was a doctor stoppage. That wasn't really that nasty. He got finished by Verdum. So no.
Yeah.
No. Those are TKOs. Those aren't like flatline, one punch, Mark Hunt walk away knockouts.
crap, I changed my mind.
The close one would be Dan Henderson when he flatlined him, but because he went flat and he was punching him, but then Fedor popped up and was like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm gonna say second round. I don't know why.
Matt second round.
Matt second round TKO.
Mm-hmm. This is Matt's fight to lose. This is a huge opportunity for Matt. Biggest fight in Matt's life by far. Not even close.
So big.
So big. Shout out to Matt Mitrione. All right, and then we'll skim through these other ones. Then you got Josh Thompson fighting Pitbull. Mm-hmm. There's huge beef there because Josh, because he murked that other kid, right? KO.
Mm-hmm.
That was in San Jose. I like Josh in that fight. You know, he's just a wily vet. And then let me see the other card.
Oh, the other card?
I mean, let me see the rest of that. Czech Congo versus Ollie Thompson. Again, Ollie Thompson, he had his stint in the UFC. Czech Congo via TKO second round. And then Josh Koscheck makes I'm pretty sure it's his debut.
Yeah, that's his first fight.
17-10. I don't know. Always rooting for Josh Koscheck. Fun card. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the UFC. UFC, I think we are doing a fight companion for it. If I can sneak away. Family's in town because my son's birthday. His birthday's not till Tuesday, but we're all day. Don't get twisted. All day we're doing Disneyland for him. I bought him. Hopefully he's not listening to this. hopefully cover your ears. Hey Tiger, earmuffs. I got him. You know those cars that kids, toddlers drive?
Yeah, that every kid wanted one.
I wanted one. I didn't. My parents couldn't afford it. Like only the rich kid had it. Anyways, he's too young to push the pedal, but he loves this car that I have that I push. So I got one of those electric ones. It's this dope like Jeep on like big off-road wheels, and it's all black. It's dope. Has like chrome on it. And then you seat belt him in so he can't like roll out. Yeah. But it's remote control, so I'm behind him driving. But when he's old enough, I can get rid of the remote control and he can drive it.
That is sick.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Dude, you're going to have fun with it just like him.
Yeah. That's why I originally got it, so I can have fun when I walk him and stuff. But I got to put that thing together. It came in a box in a million pieces. We'll figure it out.
Enjoy that.
So that's what I'm doing Sunday morning. And so Sunday night, we're going to do a fight companion. And so main event, Derek Lewis, Travis Browne. A lot of good fights on this card. The Theodoro versus Caesars, that's going to be a quick one. I see that being, I don't want to say quick one. It's going to be fight of the night. Could be. And then you got, which I think they should call this UFC the pressure's on, because Johnny Hendricks, oh my God. Hector Lombard, oh my God, coming off 2 losses. Travis Browne, you kidding me? I mean, Travis Browne loses this one. You better get Ronda pregnant, son. Because you look at Travis, he's had a rough time. So he beat Orlovsky, got knocked out. His fight against Mitrione, which Mitrione tried to contest against because he got poked in the eye. And I thought Travis was losing that fight. And then he gets absolutely annihilated by Cain Velasquez. And then he gets just picked apart by Fabricio Verdum. So, he kind of, he had all this momentum, all this hype, and it just hasn't worked out for him. And, and since he's been in Glendale training. So then I thought the good thing was, and you can leave that up. I thought the good thing I thought he left. I was going to say go back to Black Beast. I thought he left Glendale and went to Black House, which was like, oh, there's improving and see. But I think he came out in an interview that I think people were tweeting me that he's actually still with Edmond.
He just said that, but I don't think he was actually there. He's still, I still consider him my coach. I think that's what I read. But
I bet he's still in his corner. You want that hot dinner when you come home? You want to sleep in them sheets? You fucking right. You train at Glendale, son. Fuck if you're gonna lose or not. We got to think about the big picture. I just think the Lewis's best win is who? Roy Nelson, right?
Yeah.
A split decision against Roy Nelson is by far his big win. He got murked against Matt Mitrione, fought a real athletic guy. He beat Gabriel Gonzaga, but the time when he beat Gabriel Gonzaga, it's in Croatia. Gonzaga, it's an older, let's be real, it's an older Gonzaga. I think he's done fighting. Roy, it's an older Roy. So I've never been on this Black Beast train. I'm kind of getting on it, though. I really am. I like the way he does his interviews. I like how he's so active on social media. You know, he's on a big win streak in the heavyweight division. It's hard to do. He's beaten tough guys. You know, some of the guys are no-namers where I can't even say their fucking names. But with Gonzaga, Nelson, and then his last fight, which he should have murked, that guy went all 4 rounds. That's a little scary. And cardio was a bit of an issue. So momentum, and I think the books have Lewis as the favorite. I don't see it. I see Lewis as a huge underdog in this. I think Travis Browne, he's bigger. He's more technical in every aspect. It's his fight to lose. You guys are going to get sick of hearing this. The X factor would be, where is Travis Browne mentally? He has a huge hill to climb to get back to a title shot. A huge hill to climb. How's he dealing with the negativity that Ronda's going through? You know how it is when you're in a relationship. If someone's going through something, that affects you too. What your problem's my problem. Yep. What's the chemistry like? What's the relationship like in the household? Does it affect your training? What's the deal with it? There's a lot of pressure with Edmund and his credibility in that camp. And then you come out and say you still train with him. Okay, and what was it like when you said you wanted to go over to Black House? Was there any fight? Is there animosity now? What's going on there? Where are you at mentally for this fight? Do you still want to do it? Or you sleep in satin sheets because you got the sugar. How's this work? You know what I'm saying? That's a huge X factor. It's everything. Because if Travis Browne is mentally in the game, ready to go, wants this fight, for the next 3 years, all he cares about is winning gold, he should destroy Big Black Beast. He should absolutely murk him. That's a huge X factor. And also, Lewis, he's not the biggest guy. Travis Browne is fucking huge. I think he's the tallest heavyweight.
Except for Struve.
Yeah, I mean, Struve. Yeah, Struve, you know, he's a heart condition, shoulder gave out and shit. So, yeah, you're right. Struve's the tallest, but, and he murked Struve with a Superman punch, if you remember. One of the best knockouts of all time, yes. So, Travis Browne has every reason to win this fight. Then he has every reason to lose this fight. Where's he at mentally? I have no clue. I have a better chance telling you where Jimmy Hoffa's body is than telling you where fucking Travis Browne is mentally. I have no clue who's going to show up. If he shows up in any capacity and he wants this fight, he should win. He's a better wrestler, better striker. He's bigger. He's taller. He's faster. He's fought better competition. He's been in the big fight. He's been in championship rounds. Lewis, you know, he was first main event in his last fight on the fight night. Cardio's a bit of an issue. I keep picking Travis Browne, though. I do, and his back's against the wall right now. Maybe it's because I fought him. I realize how talented the guy is. I've never fought Lewis. My heart says to go with Travis Browne. My brain says for sure pick Black. For sure pick Lewis.
You never look at the numbers, but I actually took a peek today. I think Beast was favored, but now I think it's dead even.
And that's fair. Again, because they know like it's such a tough fight for Beast because looking at it, they're like, how's he going to win this? By knocking him out? Travis Browne's pretty hard to knock out. He's so tall. Yeah. He's tall. You going to take him down and submit him? I don't think so. He's fucking tough to take down. Trust me. Almost broke my neck taking him down. I got him down, but that was everything. It's Travis' fight to lose. Let's go on to the co-main event.
Cool. Hendricks and Lombard. Do you want to look at?
You know, I mean, we can go through it. You do have two southpaws, and Hector Lombard, Johnny Hendricks. So Johnny Hendricks, you can bring up his record. Let me see if I can do it off memory here. Okay. So he lost to Neil Magny, and then he lost the fight before that to Kelvin, right?
Yes, you're right.
And then he lost to Wonder Boy. He got murked by Wonder Boy. Then he beat Matt Browne decision, and you know Matt Browne's lost 6 out of 7. And then he lost to Robbie Lawler split decision. It's kind of been all downhill for him, you know, since that Robbie Lawler split decision.
Yeah.
for who knows what reasons, and he had his, the Big Rig Steakhouse, and I can't blame him for that. I love steak, and I love opening my own restaurant, but I don't know if that was the best choice. Maybe it took his concentration off. And then I'm pretty sure he missed weight his last 2 fights. Is that right?
Yep, both times.
Yeah, he's checked out. So the big X factor in this fight is, where does Johnny Hendricks want to do it? He said after his last fight, we lost to Neil Magny. He goes, it's up to my wife. If she wants to fight again, I'll fight again. If she asks me to stop, I'm gonna stop. Well, when I was fighting, and I'm not married, but if my girl was like, "Hey, you should stop fighting," and I'm in pursuit of the title, I'm like, "You shut your mouth." That's not even an option.
Yeah.
That's not even. I can't even fathom thinking of that if you're in the middle of pursuit of the title. Missing weight twice, losing to Neil, losing to Kelvin, getting murked by Stephen Thompson. I just don't think he wants to do it anymore. And now you have this killer in Hector Lombard. It's his first fight at 85. He hits like a Mack truck. He's tough to take down. He did lose to Dan Henderson, and he also lost to Neil Magny. He actually got finished by Neil Magny. God, tough fight to pick, man, because just match up the style. Johnny Hendricks, I love Johnny. I also love Hector. I just don't think Johnny wants to do it anymore. I think it's pretty evident. And so when I do see that, and I don't see those signs of Hector, I feel like Hector still wants to continue to pursue greatness and still wants to fight. So that's why I take Hector via TKO. And I'll say 3rd round. Because you can always count on Johnny's toughness to get him through a lot of things, but there's only so much a body can take.
Sounds good.
Boom, man. So that's what I got for you guys. Big weekend of fights. I will be doing a fight companion on Sunday with the crew. I think that's it, man. The Big Brown tees, these baseball tees are up on tfatkrightnow.com. I think there's like 5 left, if that. I don't know. I know the hats are sold out. We placed a big order. I didn't think they were sold out this fast. There might be some still on there. tfatk.com. Thank you guys for listening. And now I present to you one of the nicest guys in the world, first team all body, by far the best body in Bellator. I think the best body in MMA. We call him Mr. Wonderful. He drove all the way from San Diego, California, just for your listening pleasure and viewing if you're looking at this on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the champion of the world at 205 pounds in Bellator, Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis. Oh, man, we got the champ in the building. Mr. Wonderful himself, Phil Davis, is in the building.
In the building?
Bro, thanks for driving down from San Diego. I feel like I should give you gas money or something.
Hey, I'm open to it.
You said traffic was bad and you would have taken the Ducati?
Yeah.
What are you doing on a motorcycle?
Dude, motorcycles are the way to go. And you live in L.A. You see this traffic day in and day out.
I've also seen people die going through traffic.
People die doing nothing.
That's true. That's true.
Nothing.
But think about, there was I think he was a first round draft pick in the NHL, Ben Roethlisberger. You see these high level athletes.
Hold on. Did you just say Ben Roethlisberger?
Yeah, son.
Okay, all right.
Pittsburgh.
Okay. How many times did he have a concussion before?
That's true.
Before.
That's true.
He got on a motorcycle.
That's true. You've had some concussions, son. Dude, that's a bad example.
That's a bad example.
I feel like you and I have had more than Ben. Maybe. I don't know.
I can tell you every concussion I've had on a motorcycle. None.
0. I'm just saying, you make one mistake, it's game over.
It's not.
If your knee is screwed.
It's not quite. If you wear proper gear and you're not doing a wheelie going 70 or faster, you're probably good.
Have you had any crashes, any hiccups?
Dude, the first one, I was turning at 3 miles per hour, too slow. And I was like,
just going too slow and just fell over?
Yeah.
I was going to do
I laughed the whole time I was going, this is embarrassing. Nobody look.
You're talking to a guy who, it's risk reward. I'm like, reward, I get to my destination faster.
Yeah.
Risk, death. When I was going to do one of the motorcycle courses, and the guy, I was going to sign up, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love a good bike, man. He's like, yeah, I want to get a nice one to start. And I'm like, why? He goes, because 99% of beginners crash their bike in the first year. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm out. I was like, I'm out, man. I don't want part of this.
Let me ask you this. when you started driving, how long before your car touched another anything? Car, vehicle, pole, bush.
I hit
something.
a parked car.
There you go.
Yeah.
You hit a parked car.
But I'm surrounded by steel and airbags.
Okay. Here goes a fact for you. When you take the class, you have to learn all this stuff. More than 50% of motorcycle fatalities happen involving alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, too, it's not the motorcycle fault. It's usually that, a car doesn't see them. And, and especially in L.A., going down the middle of the lanes is insane.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I like cars.
I just don't want to see you get hurt, man. You sit. You sit
while I'm just saying, man.
Car, brother.
You stress me out, dog. Dude, last time I saw you was at the Bellator in San Jose where I came in, and you're just getting ready to fight Mo Lawal. And Bellator's like, oh, you're friends with Phil, right? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, come in the back. And I know how. I'm like, I don't want to. What? When's he fighting? They're like, he's like 2 away. I'm like, I don't need to be back there. I'm like, no. We want you in the locker room.
He wants to see you.
I know. I'm like, God damn it. I come like, what's up, Phil? But you didn't look that stressed or anything. It's like just like another day in the office. And I was like, God damn, he's relaxed. And I go to Mo's, Mo's a buddy of mine. I'm like, what's up, Mo? And, a little more tense, but, that fight, they asked me before I went to the cards who won. I said, Phil clears day. And I didn't think, there's a little bit of controversy. And I told Scott Coker and I told the other guys, Bellator, I'm like, Phil all day.
Nice.
Yeah. Just because you look at the fight, the way it went down, you wobbled him, which I thought. And you wobbled him and then you shot, right? You blasted that double leg. I figured if you kept on the feet, you would have finished him.
You know what? So here's the funny thing. The combination I was throwing was a 1-2, feint, and then shoot. That was the combination. The 1-2 wobbled him, and after I saw it, I was like, I think wait a second. He was going to fall down regardless.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like too late. It
was programmed already. I'm sure you're doing
already.
in practice.
Yep.
Because you blasted him with that double.
Yeah.
And Mo can wrestle his ass off.
Yes, sir.
That's how, obviously so can you, world class.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, for Mo to get blasted like a double leg like that.
Mo would have been on the Olympic team probably 2 years were it not for Cael Sanderson, one of the best wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
And Daniel Cormier. Those two guys who are, really kind of...
those guys are good.
Yeah. Yeah, guys...
Those guys are all right.
DC's
all right. Yeah. He's all right, fighter.
So, he's top level. He doesn't get enough credit, but he's top level.
I think one of the reasons Mo, and we'll get off of Mo after this, I think one of the reasons Mo doesn't get enough credit is because there's so much expectations put on him. And he was like with Rashad, and he was with these big camps. And it's not that he's not world class, because he's great, man.
Right.
He'll fight a guy, and then he went to Ryzen, found the heavyweight division. I don't know what it is. He doesn't get the due that he deserves.
No.
And I don't get it, because he's beat a lot of good dudes.
Well, I think it can work two ways. I think if you ask for it too much, like you bring too much attention on yourself and then you don't deliver, it's almost worse than delivering. People are like, man, I thought you were going to lose that.
Yep.
Check you out.
Well, because remember when he was fighting in Dream and Ryzen, he was coming out with the crown on and dancing, had the chicks.
Yep.
I think people are expecting fireworks.
Yeah.
But his background's wrestling.
Right.
Although he tries to knock guys out, but still, when you fight certain guys who are elite strikers, it's tough to do, man. So I think that kind of screwed him over.
Yeah.
So you beat Mo, and then you fight for the world title against Liam, right? And I thought for Liam, he's a world class guy. I think he beats 99% of the division besides you. I just thought, looking at the fight, I thought Liam's going to beat everyone. Phil's just his Achilles heel, because you look what Liam does great, and you look what you do great. I'm like, Liam's in trouble, man, with this one. Where he would be champ, I think, 10 times consecutive if you stayed in UFC or if you were just at different times. But just so happens it sucks for him.
I agree. People, man, the fight looked so one-sided that it didn't give him the credit that he deserves.
But it's just stylistically, it's his
style nightmare.
Because you can wrestle your ass off. Obviously, you're good at striking. But then and I don't know why, but not that people don't say, yeah, Phil can freaking grapple. Phil has jiu-jitsu. I don't think they realize the level of your jiu-jitsu.
No.
So when they talk about Liam and his jiu-jitsu, I'm like, no, I know it's good. I'm trying to Henzo. Phil is a monster. He had you had arm choked Gustafson, right?
Yep.
I mean, people forget how high a level of a grappler you are.
It's a belt thing. You know, the more you brag about it, the more people know, oh, God, this guy's a black belt.
That's true.
Under Henzo, under this guy, under that guy.
True.
You ask anybody I've trained with, Neil Melanson, Lloyd Irvin, these not only are they top level BJJ guys, they're big guys.
That's cream of the crop.
They will accidentally tear your arm off.
Yes.
Like they will leave you in tears.
Dude, Neil is like a savant when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yes.
I think he, as far as grappling coaches, to me, he's top 2 in the world, probably.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I haven't trained with, as far as BJJ, I haven't trained with tons of guys. As far as coaches go, I've trained with Dean Lister, who's awesome. I've trained with Andre Galvao, he's awesome. Neil Melanson, Lloyd Irvin.
I mean, that's the Mount Rushmore. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, those are some big names.
Yeah.
Do you forget about Lloyd Irvin?
I love Lloyd Irvin. He had a guy fighting in the last UFC card down in Houston.
I saw him. That was the first time I've seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Because he had that bit of a hiccup, which we won't get into with the academy and stuff like that. And then Eastman.
Yes. Mike Easton.
Yes, Mike Easton.
Yep.
That was his guy.
Yep.
You guys all came up together, right? God, that's old school, man.
Super old school.
And then, so you were trained with them, and then you came to San Diego, and that's where you went to Alliance. And I trained at Alliance. I forget which fight. I think it was Mitrione. And you weren't there. You were injured, but I trained with Gustafson. And all the guys.
Yep.
And I couldn't get over how big Gustafson was.
He's like a big kid. Like he's like a puppy that grew up in like 10 weeks to be the size of a Great Dane.
Yeah,
you know
he's a Great Dane. He's a Great Dane.
Crazy.
But I walked him like, what the? I'm a heavyweight, and then he sparred, I think, 6 rounds with some top 10 ranked heavyweight boxer.
Yeah.
Destroyed that dude, and they're like, Shab, you ready? I'm like, I guess. And then I have to go 3 rounds with this monster.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, oh, that would be one of the best in the world, man.
Yep.
This is a different game.
And
you came, and so you and Gustafson, after you beat him, did he come to Alliance to train with you guys?
Yes, sir. We met in the back. We fought in Abu Dhabi, the first UFC card in Abu Dhabi, and in the back, he was just hanging out by the side, and there was like only one like entrance into the
awkward.
Awkward. It funneled from the locker room into the stadium. You had to go through one way. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go over. He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, you're a nice guy.
Yeah. I was like, hey man, good fight, man. I was watching my tape. You're really good, you know?
Beast.
And so he and I just started chit chatting. My coach and his coach started chit chatting, and his coach was like, "You guys should train. You guys should train." Yeah, that's a great idea,
man.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So he comes, and sure enough, man, this guy he's a hammer.
Did you have any idea how good he was going to get?
No, I had no idea. I knew he could knock anybody out. I knew that right away.
He was good at everything when I trained with him. I'm just like, what the? Because I mean, you're talking about a guy who, depends who you ask. Went to a close decision with Jon Jones. Some people thought he won.
Oh my God, I can't even. That fight too, like outside of that, was it that 4th or 5th round he got hit with that spinning elbow? I can't remember.
Got a little wobbled.
Yeah. Outside of that, man, he was just
he took Jon down, and that's what before the fight because
4 times.
Yeah, because before the fight, when I trained Gustafson, I couldn't get over how good his wrestling was, and his counter.
Well, you came in 3 years in. You came in 3 years in of training with me,
dude.
Not to steal.
No, but no, for reals though. Yeah, but I mean, he's training with you every day, getting used to your wrestling. And I thought, all right, he's a striker. I'll be able to grapple this dude, take him down. And I had my hands full.
Yeah.
And then I saw him, not against me, but other dudes, his wrestling. I'm like, damn, this dude can wrestle. Dude, he's an athlete. I think he's going to take Jon down. He's so big, and it's unexpected. I don't think Jon's really working a lot on his wrestling against Gustafson because Gustafson really hasn't shown it.
You wouldn't think that.
Dude.
And what he did in that fight, Jon came at him, and he thought, all right, I'm just going to beat him in the stand-up game. that did not go well. If Jon had come at him, taken him down, tried to beat him up with some elbows on the ground, first round, second round, he could have changed the trajectory of that fight.
Yep.
And he could have done it. It was just a matter of, that wasn't his game plan.
Yep.
And man, Gus is sometimes he's slow starting, but God, he doesn't even get tired.
No, his
the way most
cardio is
people
good
do.
too. He's like a giant Lance Armstrong without all the weird drugs. But where's Gus now? Because there was a while there where he was thinking about retiring, and then he had the lost Anthony Johnson, which was to me was a headbutt, which really wasn't fair. It looked like a headbutt. And then then he fought homeboy in Minowa. He fought Minowa and just destroyed him. Obviously,
yeah.
Where's he at? Because I hear him say, I don't know if my heart's into it. So I think they give him Minowa just like, hey, let's see where you're at, because you can't toss him, DC or one of these monsters yet.
Right.
If his head's not.
Well, he came back and fought DC.
Yeah.
And then he lost that one. Close fight.
Another close one.
Gosh,
He's literally like one round away from beating DC and Jon Jones. That's how good he is.
Right there.
Like there's a few minor fixes he can make, and he's world champ.
Yep. And I don't even know which fight I think was closer. I think they were both equally close.
I would say probably the Jon Jones one. And that was a card I was on, and Jon was on a stretcher coming the back, and his face, man, I'll never forget that.
I forgot that.
He was shaking.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because I fought Mitrione on that card, and Jon was coming back, and he was shaking, man. And he's on a stretcher, and he was throwing up from the pain, and his face was all busted, and I just leaned over, and I was emotional, and I was just like, well, way to go, champ. God damn, way to go, man. I'll never forget that. And my coach, my coach comes from boxing. This is the first time he's really seen like a 5-round war of world-class guys. And he sees Jon go by, and I go, and he won. And my coach looks at me and goes, fuck this. I'm like, all right, well, let's relax. I got a little more to go, but let's hang in there. But has Gus has he been at Alliance? Like, obviously he's a enormous star in Sweden. I already walked down. He's like fuck Brad Pitt in that bitch.
I mean, there's a couple soccer players who are, I'm not soccer. Well, soccer too.
Yeah, soccer.
But hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey stars that are up there, but he's the man.
That's what I've heard. I heard you want to go to Sweden with that.
The
dude.
man.
Yeah. Holler at your boy, Gus.
Yeah, no, for real.
So has
he
he been back in the San Diego training like consistently, or where's his head at?
Not really, not lately. He'll come over for a couple months here or there.
Yeah.
But really does his camps out in Sweden now. I think it's better for him to build up that fan base and
hell yeah.
That is his retirement plan, just being the guy for that fan base.
Yeah, and there's really no face over there. I think for him too, like he was so close, and he had such heartbreak. So you have the fight with Jon Jones, where it's like, oh my God, he's the best. He's ranked number 1.5. He's not number 1, he's 1.5. And then he gets Anthony Johnson, he gets the headbutt in his hometown. I've never felt so bad for a fighter in my life. He hits that headbutt, and you just see the sheer disappointment on his face. And then he goes away for a little while, and then you have the DC fight where it was so close. So I just feel like he had so much heartbreak. He was just kind of like, forget this, man. Forget this. And I when he was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, I was like, I get it, man.
Yep.
I get it.
And the other thing is, there's a lot of disappointment losing in your hometown, And I think, like any of us would, I think he just internalized it too much.
Yeah.
Now, given some time, I think he's bounced back. He got injured, got down on himself again, but I think he's back to training. If
you look at the UFC division, especially at light heavyweight, it's wide open. There's DC, Rumble, him, Jon Jones. And then after that, it's like
who's
like
number
old man.
Who's 4, 5, 6?
I think they got Jimmy Manoa on there. They got OSP.
Okay, yeah.
They still got Shogun ranked on there.
I think OSP just
Fedor's
lost.
out. Yeah, OSP lost.
Fedor's out. Yeah.
Fedor's coming to Bellator, which is going to be a great fight. Obviously, you guys are going to fight.
Oh yeah,
because there's that close decision. You guys are for sure going to fight.
Oh yeah, that's going down.
Light heavyweight in the UFC's obviously suffering a little bit, but Gustafsson, it's wide open for him to be champ. Light heavyweight in Bellator is super interesting, especially with Fedor getting signed now. you've kind of gone through all the guys though.
Yeah.
Newton, Mo, Liam, and then
McGarry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what is crazy is the tournament was an awesome idea. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was like, of course, why wouldn't I want to fight 2 guys in one night?
Yeah.
I love 2 checks. I'm a really love 4 checks.
Yes, sir. I'm not mad at that.
I ain't never been scared of 4 checks.
Especially you with your wrestling background.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
what you guys do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I tell you what, though, it's still different.
Is it?
It's still different. Yeah.
Is it better than doing that and being that active? Is it better than fighting once, waiting 6 months, fighting again, waiting 6 months? You know what I'm saying? Because at least that the nerves you're kind of over it.
Sure.
Because that's how the Ultimate Fighter was.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. But two times in one night, better than Saturday and then again on Saturday.
Yes.
Much better than that.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even want to do that.
But the thing is,
Especially
you
not as
cleared out the
heavyweight.
division.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, I know. But the only downside to that is for Bellator, it's hard to market it to build it up. And
Yep.
like you look at your resume, it's like, all right, well, Phil cleaned out the division in 2 weeks. Like, he signed with Bellator, he cleaned out the goddamn division in 2 weeks. What do we do now? Like, we better sign Ryan Bader. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, That's the downside is you cleared out the division, you're champ, which we all thought was gonna happen, and then now it's tough to find new matchups. That's why I like how Scott Coker will get creative and maybe can fight at gangster weight, fight a guy like Chael Sonnen, Roy McDonald.
That's fun. And Scott Coker, he's willing to do anything that's a great idea. I mean, other organizations are already set up, they're running, cool. I mean, it's like a set format. But now Scott is, man, he's a freaking evil genius when it comes to promoting fights.
He's and to me, I was just talking with him this morning, texting back and forth. He's so approachable, and he's like a fighter's promoter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't know these other commissioners and all these other major leagues from NFL, NBA, and then the UFC, it's different. Scott, you can text like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And he'll get back to him like, "I think this and this."
Yeah,
it's very strange, man. Strange in a good way.
Yeah, strange in a good way.
What people don't realize, it's not like that.
It's not like that most times. Not even like smaller organizations.
No, not at all. And I think I text you and I tweeted out when you made the crossover from UFC to Bellator. I said you're the Rosa Parks of mixed martial arts.
It's funny. My wife goes, I wonder if he's going to ask you if you're the Rosa Parks of MMA
because you were the first one to like.
So that's
I'm
why
good,
you
man.
brought me here in Black History Month.
I didn't even know.
You didn't even know Black History Month?
I didn't even make.
You don't even know Black History?
I knew it. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. I have all black friends. No, I'm just kidding.
I listen to black music.
I'm like Adele. My black friends love you. She fucked up. Anyways, that was so awkward. But
we're going with it.
We're rolling
already in tears.
Right?
Let's go.
Everyone's like, all right, get off Beyonce's nuts. But you were the first guy to. You're high ranked. You have everything going for you in the UFC. You have all these sponsors. You're a big face. You're marketable like crazy, and you're the first guy to be like, I'm good, man. I'm going to see what the water's like over here. When I saw that, I was like, oh, someone's opening the door. They're opening this portal. And then now, to your credit, you see all these other guys following suit.
Yep. And you know what? The biggest question, and I'm telling you, there's a couple guys that, I get texts from kind of everybody. Like, hey, Phil, and from both sides, hey, Phil, do you think I would get more money if I went over there? Maybe,
man. Maybe. I'm not your agent.
I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. But you could get screwed.
Yeah.
So, and now guys are fighting out their contracts. The worst that can happen is once you get your contract, it's a standing offer, man. And if the other guy knows what your offer is, they'll beat it.
Yeah.
Like
competition's good.
Competition's good.
It's the best thing for the sport. When you were going through that whole transition, I know there was some sort of fear because walking away from the UFC, which, it's nothing that I don't think Scott Coker or anyone else would admit. UFC is the big dog, in this game. And walking away from there, and you're kind of in unknown territory. You really are.
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the things that kept you up at night?
Well,
like what was the biggest kind of like, God, I hope this pays off, man.
Well,
because it's not was it a money thing? Was it a competition thing?
It's really, I don't like. I understand there's a level of politics to everything, and I get that, and I'm cool with that. But when I feel like I cannot break that barrier, then I'm out.
Meaning a title shot or your ranking.
Well, I mean, it could be anything. It could be a title shot. It could be ranking. It could be sponsors.
Yeah.
And now, and now guys on that side kind of feel like, well, how do I get that sponsorship? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Only a couple people got it.
Because when, your body of work and we're talking about Mo, who doesn't get enough credit. You're another guy who doesn't get as much credit, even though you're world champ now. But you look at your resume, Lyoto Machida, Glover Teixeira, you go through the resume like, oh my God, man, Gustafsson. I mean, you've kind of beat everyone. And then the only guys you lost to are the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And you never had your bout with Jon Jones, which I was surprised never came to fruition.
I think eventually it will.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll see. I think I'll hold out for the Muhammad Ali act.
Yeah.
That may happen at some point
for sure.
But I like where the sport's at now, and I like where it's headed. I wish it would get there a lot faster, but
I know. Well, you're currently fighting,
right. But it's even if it doesn't get to that point while I'm fighting, you know what? At least the next guys will be able to make at least have the opportunity to make Mayweather money.
Yeah, you've pushed it. You've definitely been one of the guys to push that by going over to Bellator, especially where your ranking was at the time. Because before, Bellator would get guys, and it's like, yeah, that guy's old, man. Like, we've seen him fight. But you were the guy who was in his prime, ranked high, could stay and very likely become world champion. And so when you crossed over, but you were the guy to do it and do it successfully. And that's not for everyone because, and I love Ben. He knows this, and Ben listens to the show. And we've had Ben on, but for Ben, it hasn't worked out. It just hasn't. He hasn't had those key wins.
Right.
He hasn't looked great. His marketability has gone down a little bit, and it's just people thought, well, you go to Bellator, you win. Bellator's freaking tough, man.
No, sir. You better do your research.
Yeah.
You better do some research. They got some killers.
The problem is you guys have killers, but there's not a ton of depth at certain divisions.
Right. Exactly.
That's the issue.
The depth is not, it's not negotiable. We just don't have 450 guys on the roster. It's just not there.
It'll get there, though.
It will get there. And the shows, we're already doing 30, 35 shows somewhere around there, which is a good amount, but not too much.
It's not oversaturating the market.
No. And that's good too. So, but I tell you what was the scariest part was I had just bought a house in 2014 and I leased a Tahoe in 15. So here I had a car and a house and I was like,
you got a nut, you got a cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I got some decisions.
Son. Yeah.
I was like, this is probably going to work out, but the safer move, I had to get rid of my Tahoe. I was like, I don't even want to. Every time a Tahoe drives past, I'm a little bit butthurt. Yeah. If I'd have just held out 4 more months, I'd be fine. But it's the not knowing if it's going to work out. Cool. I'm going to get rid of that Tahoe. I'm going to play it safe every time.
Yeah, it's called a risk. And usually the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
And like I said, for you, it paid off. But again, going
back to Benson though.
Yeah.
I think Benson, in my opinion, when he was the champion. Dude, he fought like 5 fights where he looked unstoppable.
Yes.
And I don't think he got the push he deserved. He was tearing guys apart.
But then remember, he had those kind of controversial wins against Frankie Edgar.
Who, come on. Who doesn't have a Frankie Edgar controversial win?
True. He's tough to finish.
He's
tough to put away.
Come on. Come on.
I know.
You hit the guy with a hammer. He just comes back to life.
But you also got to realize, especially, when Ben Henderson, when he was heavyweight champ or the lightweight champ, and then especially when you were doing your thing there, those were the good promotion days. Mm-hmm. Now that this UFC is organized by WME, they're trying to figure it out, but now you're talking guys aren't getting any promotion.
Push.
Anyone. Unless you're Ronda Rousey or Conor McGregor and Ronda's out, and Conor really doesn't need it anymore. These other guys, like this last card I watched, I'm like, good luck, fellas. Good luck, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And then talking to Chael, I was like, because when I heard he signed with him, I called him right away. I'm like, dude, what is going on here?
Yeah.
He's like, the contract, man. It's like, it's so dope. Like these certain, he didn't say dope, that's my word, but these certain incentives and just the way it lays out, it's just way more beneficial for me.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's silly not to. If the guys on the other side knew what could be available to them, they'd be like, I'm out of here.
Because Bader, he fought to the end of his contract.
Yeah.
And then he said he was going through negotiations. And I guess Bellator, he was like, the contract was great. And we went back and forth. It was the easiest negotiation I've ever had. And I was waiting for UFC for a counter offer. And then he found out through social media that the UFC is like, nah, we're good, man.
Yeah. That's deep. But you know what, though? I didn't hear him say anything negative towards the UFC.
No.
I didn't hear anything, which is odd that they said, not that they said anything negative, but that they put it out there. Oh yeah, you're okay.
Yeah, didn't even notify him. Just went to social media or something. He's like, "No, we're not going to match it. We're good." Which, to me, I think them being comfortable in the lane they're in, they have to be careful because you start to look at, all right, Phil Davis went over like, all right, that's a big one, but we'll see what we can do. Then you got Ben Henderson, then you got Roy McDonald, then you got Chael Sonnen, you have Matt Mitrione, you have Ryan Bader, and you start to see it building. Before it's gonna be too late, where if they recognize, like, holy shit, man, like it's not about Bellator, it's not about the UFC, it's about the fighters and the stars.
Yep.
Like, it's not like the NFL. Like the Patriots are always going to do well. The Steelers are always going to sell out.
That's it. The Yankees.
The UFC and Bellator is not going to sell out if they don't have the right fighters.
Yep. Exactly.
It's a different game.
It's a completely different game. And, it's very interesting how this whole thing plays out. And especially Conor, he's in a whole different level, I mean, he's just like, F the UFC. I was like, did he just say that?
Different animal. Different animal.
Dude, you do what you want.
And now they're talking about today, and he's talking about the Ali Act. And today, the fight's never been closer with Mayweather. I don't know if you saw this.
No, what happened? What happened with the Ali Act? Did something just happen?
Well, that's what he applied for his license in Vegas, I think California too, boxing license, and he was saying under the Ali Act. And obviously, Conor has ridiculous lawyers, so it's not like he's making this stuff up. He has someone in his ear who's helping him out.
Someone thinking for him. You don't need to think.
No. And now you have, Dana goes, well, I'll give Floyd and Conor $25 million each. So we have on record that Dana's willing to pay up to $25 million, which is good for the fighters because now we have that on record. But the other thing is he's open to the fight. And now, but he went, it's not going to work because we have Conor under contract for more fights. But under this Ali Act, I think Conor's going to pull it off, man. I really do. I think it's going to happen.
The way okay. In boxing, you can't have longer than 1 year contract, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how the intricacies of how that all works, but you can't really have a multi-fight contract as far as pay. It cannot be scaled. You have to renegotiate after every fight, which is dope.
That's awesome.
Awesome. You know what? You go out, you knock out Fedor in 10 seconds. Guess what? Your next fight? That's a big one.
Yep.
That's a big one. You're getting paid.
Which is fair, though.
It is as fair as it's going to get. It's as fair as it's going to get because that's happened to numerous guys.
Yeah.
You and me.
Yeah.
You get there, you're like, oh, crap. This is Gonzaga.
Yeah, man.
Shoot.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Well, I already know what I'm going to make next fight, but I wish there was
dude, you were lucky because, not lucky, but I was under the Ultimate Fighter contract. So I was on the Ultimate Fighter where it didn't matter. It was by a year. So it started off at, I think, 6-6 or 8-8. So I was fighting, Mirko Krokop for 12-12 and then Nogueira for 14-14. I'm like, what the can we talk about this? And they're like, that's your contract, son, for the next 4 years. I'm like, well, right.
I think I fought Nogueira for 15-15.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I was heartbroken too because I think he made 90 and he lost. I was like,
no, dude.
But he's a G. He's
one of the pioneers. But I understand.
Absolutely.
But it's still there. Still needs to be some sort of compensation because when I fought Krokop, how the commission comes back, you have to sign the checks.
Yeah.
we had a war, right? I knocked him out with like 1 minute left in the third round. I had to reconstructive nose surgery. Wow. I have 15 stitches in my eye. My lips busted. I'm lightheaded. He's the one who got knocked out. He looks a little beat up, but we're both in the back seeing the doctor, and they're going through everything. And I'm talking to him, and he's my hero. I'm trying to just have a conversation with him. His English isn't great. But the commission comes back, and I sign a check, and they accidentally gave me Crow Cop's check. And when I saw what he made, I was like, oh, God, I feel sick. And then they gave me mine. I'm like, that's ridiculous, man. But he's a legend. He deserves that. But there has to be – I still won. Yeah. And our body still went through the same kind of
you feel that you almost feel like the loser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who really won?
Yeah. My grandma used to always say before she passed away in fighting, no one wins. She goes, did you get punched in the face? I go, yeah. He goes, did he get punched in the face? I go, yeah. She goes, no one wins. I went, well, no, I knocked him out. Like, I know, but you still took damage. Like, all right, whatever. Yeah. Good point, Grandma.
How you going to argue with your grandma?
I'll argue with anyone, my man. That's kind of why I have a gig now. So for you, what do you see next in Bellator? What do you personally for you and just Bellator overall? Because they do have these big signings. You have, and we'll break that down with Mitrione, Fedor. You got freaking Roy McDonald fighting Daly. Yeah. You got Michael Venom Page, who's a big star.
Yeah, he's a guy he's up and coming. Not so much up and coming like he's. I mean up and coming in the sense that a mass majority of the fans don't know who he is yet, and he's a freak.
Is there any way you could fly him to work on wrestling with you? Is that possible?
Well, yeah, you
should be doing that.
He's one of my homies. I might have to.
Is he really?
Yeah.
You should help him out.
Yeah,
because his striking's ridiculous.
It's nuts.
It's amazing. Yeah. But then, if he came over to the UFC, he'd get eaten up because if they don't toss him strikers, it's gonna be a long day for him.
They'll give him somebody like, one of those.
You get a collegiate wrestler's going to do work on him. They're gonna have a field day with him. But he's at the stage, and Bellator's doing a good job. I didn't like the Paul Daly. Remember when there's rumors for the Paul? I text Coker and went, "Holy shit, that's a fight!"
Daly and
Michael Venom Page.
Oh,
they both wanted the fight.
Yeah,
and I sent it to Coker, screenshot, and was like, "Dude, make this happen." Yeah, and he just put like a winky face. Yeah, because obviously Daly's fighting. Yeah, Roy McDonald, which is a way better fight, really. Because Michael Venom Page, I don't think he's there yet, and there's no rush.
Yeah, there's no rush.
He's your guy's. He's kind of like your guy's Wonder Boy, but he's actual. He's a younger dude.
Yeah. I just found out Wonder Boy's older than me. I was like,
"Oh, you're talking about Wonder Man?
Wonder Man.
I've known Wonder Boy for a long time, and when he told me his age, I was like, "You just gonna stick with the Wonder Boy thing, or do you want to change just the Wonder maybe? Because not a boy, not a boy,
and the California grown man,
you fucking Wonder grown man. Let's do that." But for you, what do you see happening next? Did they give you any word?
No word yet. I'm completely in the dark. But I suspect either Linton Vassell or Ryan Bader's next. Either one of those guys.
For sure it's Bader.
Yeah.
Because Bader's going to sign next week. And you versus Bader's such a fun fight.
Done.
You guys have history, too.
Exactly. I was like, that's it. Most people don't get the opportunity to kick the hornet's nest.
It's true.
You did it, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm coming after him like a spider monkey.
Yeah.
It's too late.
That's a fun fight, man.
So one's definitely it's a fight I want to run back. So he's a cool cat. I like that. He's one of those cats like if there were a hotel bar, we'd be having beers afterwards.
Both you guys are some of my favorite people. Like people think like a lot of MMA fighters can be like mean or they have to be like aggressive dudes, but you couldn't be opposite. And Ryan Bader too. Like you guys are just good people. Yeah. You just happen to do this as a profession.
Yep.
Both you guys. Yep, and I think both you guys are so humble too because your wrestling background maybe.
Yeah.
That has to be it because in wrestling there's really you kind of can't be a dick. I mean, maybe on the mat you can, but locker rooms and stuff.
There was only a few guys that were really dicks in wrestling. Johnny Hendricks, man, he was up. He's not in MMA.
He's so nice.
That's the craziest thing.
He's so nice. He was a dick on the mat.
Bro, he was like the bad boy of wrestling.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Was he really?
He tech falls somebody and just like clean technique, just beautiful. And the crowd would boo. It is
damn. He was like the Dark Knight of wrestling.
Knight. Yes, sir.
Of Oklahoma State wrestling.
Yes, sir. He was a bad dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he was so a bad boy. Yeah.
Because you came up with a lot of guys,
which is interesting because I don't know where that comes from. Like,
I don't either,
how,
man.
like the contract. Like, I knew you then, I know you now. Where did you? Why did they think you were bad, and how did you turn good? Like, I don't. Why did that happen?
What do you think's going on with Johnny Hendricks? You've known him for a while.
Yeah.
He's obviously hit a rough patch.
Yeah. Yep.
Rough patch. I think he left his camp. He had that restaurant with the Big Rig Steakhouse, which I feel like was a bad idea. And then he just had a lot of like.
Yeah,
he just has a lot
had to
going on.
do it though.
I'm not mad at it.
You got a name like Big Rig, you got to do it.
Bro, what? If someone came to me like, "Hey, what do you think of Big Brown milkshakes?" I'm like, I'll do that 100%. I'll invest 100% of my time into that. I'm completely down.
I'm in.
I get it, man. What do you think's going? You think it's mental for him? You think he wants to check out? Because when he lost to my boy Neil Magny, and gets on the mic and they go, what's left? What's left for you to do? And he goes, if my wife tells me to stop, I'm kind of out. I go, well, that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
That is that's almost 2 foot out. But if my wife says do it, then I'm back in.
I know, man. I'm like, well, if your wife's dictating if you fight or not, probably shouldn't fight. And then the UFC goes, you're 1 foot out. That's cool. Here's Hector Lombard this Sunday. Hector's like, I'm all in, bitch. Like, Hector's a nightmare. That's who he's fighting this weekend, man.
Is it? That's
Sunday.
this weekend?
That's Sunday.
Oh, gosh.
Well, and
that's a tough fight.
I want to get
we
your
will
take
know
on
where
that.
he's at.
I know.
We will know.
What do you think's going on? You think it's mental for Johnny Hendricks? There's nothing left for him really to do?
I think it's difficult for a guy like him. He was a guy in wrestling who just rolled through everybody. 3 national championships. He took him a while to get going, really, in MMA. Once he got going, boom, boom. The wins just fell down for him.
Overhand,
yeah. And so he finally reached that top in MMA. Had a great fight with Was it George St. Pierre?
Yeah, a good fight with George, yeah.
Yeah, George St. Pierre.
And then Robbie Lawler battles.
Yeah. I think he got there in too soon, and now he satiated that appetite for greatness.
Yep.
He got there, he defended the title, beat some folks up, and now he's kind of like, this is kind of still fun.
Yeah.
I like it still.
Yep. This isn't the sport to be that guy, though, where it's
No,
kind of cool. I mean, it's something to do. What?
No,
Because Hector
sir.
Lombard wants to rip your face off.
Yeah.
Like he's playing for keeps.
Yes, sir.
And I think, to your point, Johnny climbed Everest, was like, damn, this is a cool view. Cool, man.
Yeah.
And then you go back down, like, I'll still try and climb it. It's like, well, no, you'll die if you keep trying to climb that.
Yeah.
If you're not all the way in, you don't have all the right gear, you're never going to make it, man.
You're never going to make it, yeah. But it's hard to say. That's completely from the outside looking in. He had a couple injuries that set him back.
It's true.
And then I think he gained some weight. Then he didn't cut his weight right.
Yeah, he had some
all
weight
that
issues.
stuff just messes with your head.
But I feel like, and this as being a wrestler, especially, you're a lean, big dude, and cutting weight's a real beast. Johnny Hendricks, that's what he does. Like, you're a wrestler. That's your background, son. So when I see wrestlers miss weight, I'm like, they're not focused. Like your boy Anthony Rumble Johnson, when he'd miss weight, I'm like, hey, what the fuck are you doing fighting at 170?
Yeah.
Who told you to do that? You're walking at 240.
Gosh.
What are you trying to do right now?
What are you trying to prove?
That was insane.
I mean, the Guinness Book of World Records should have been... He should have been around. That should be a record.
It might be. They might want to look into that. Because he was this big dude cutting this weight. So whenever I see wrestlers not making weight, to me, it's like a sign of on focus or self-sabotage.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, my coach used to always tell me, he said, when a guy wants to be done wrestling, the first thing he'll stop doing is he'll stop cutting weight.
Because that's what takes the most discipline, right?
Yep.
That takes the most mental discipline to cut weight, not eat that cheeseburger, do your workout, do your road work, getting in the sauna. Like, that's the toughest part.
The good guys, they'll always show up to training. That part it's a done deal. That's your life.
That's fun.
That's your fun time. That's your therapy. That's how you cope with life. But that weight cut's the same old nonsense every time.
It's not going anywhere.
Nuh-uh.
So you have your boy Johnny Hendricks fighting Hector Lombard, which I just I love Johnny. Also, I like Hector too. I would love to see Johnny get a win. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he actually gets finished. Hate saying that. I know. He's your boy.
No. It's the fight game.
Yeah,
but if he comes out and just blows through him on a double, which he could do it.
Oh yeah, he has the skills. Or he lands that huge overhand.
Yeah,
that'll put anybody.
Is that two southpaws together?
Yes, it is.
Oof, that is a sleeper fight.
I know.
Somebody going to sleep.
Yeah, it's not going to a decision.
No. No.
And then you got that fight, which is fun, and then you got your old training partner Travis Browne, versus the Black Beast Lewis.
Browne versus Black.
Yep, Browne and Black.
Who wins that?
You're asking me? I'm never scared to make a pick. Travis should win this fight. He's the underdog on the books. He is better in every facet than Black. Yeah. He just is.
Yep.
Wrestling, you got it, Travis. Striking, Travis, you got it. Yep. Jiu-jitsu, you got it. Competition, you got it. Mentally, you don't have it.
Well, I will say this. The problem with being the new guy, the guy who's established, is that you don't want to be unestablished.
I know.
You got a reputation to maintain. And even though I feel like he's had bigger fights. He's had more. The big fights, the big wins. He's fought the best competition.
He's beat Overeem. He's beat Big Silva. He's beat Josh Barnett, Gabriel Gonzaga, Brendan Schaub. The list goes on and on. It's the Mount Rushmore. Hashtag as the easiest fight. Anyways. But no, you're right, man. But if he loses his fight, he's back of the line. Where it's basically over if he loses this one.
I don't want to say over, but
What the fuck is he gonna do, Phil? I know he's your boy. So
he's in a different place. He'll be in a different place.
And by different place, I mean Bellator.
It could also be that.
Or Bellator or Titan. Yeah, because he gets paid a lot of money. He's fought the best of the best. Then if he loses to an up-and-comer who's won 5 in a row, like the Black Beast, it's kind of like, what do you do with him?
Yeah.
And for him, since he left Alliance, he was good at Jackson's.
Yep.
Then he leaves Jackson's. Then he's with his girl, and they go to Glendale, and that didn't work out for anyone in any facet. And then he leaves there.
I will say this: I think it worked out. I think it worked out for Ronda. And here's why. For Ronda. Here's why. Now, given the video for the last fight, we're just going to take that.
Yeah,
that's inadmissible. We're not even going to.
Just not the last fight. It might have
slam the gavel on that. Yeah. Get it out of my courtroom.
All right, take out the last fight.
Right.
All right, deal. We'll just totally forget when she got murked in front of everyone. But go ahead.
Done. That's out.
So then the Holly Holm fight 411 days ago.
411 days ago. All right. So Holly Holm. She that was tough. I mean, if you saw a guy fight that way and say, all right, okay, apparently Holly Holm is really freaking tough. I didn't know that until that fight. Yeah. She's really freaking tough.
Yeah. And then Holly doesn't win a fight since then and gets outclassed. Although I think she won her last fight, but keep going.
Yeah, there should have been a point deduction. You just don't. You know what? Sometimes in boxing, I say this about boxing, but it's becoming more and more true about MMA as well. The referee is like, sometimes it's like the referee in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Somebody takes out a chair, smashes him over the head. All right, that's enough. That's enough. I don't want to see it again. Meanwhile, this guy gets a bat with spikes on it. He hits you. All right, you put down the bat with spikes. I'm not going to have this in my cage.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
To me, it's the ref is scared. They're scared to change the dynamic of the fight, which what they don't realize is the ref should 100% take point no matter what. There's
thank you.
There's no warnings.
No.
And
no,
people
sir.
go, and then
your warning was in the locker room.
Yes.
Why hasn't that been?
Because what people don't realize is, before every fight, your ref comes to you in the locker room, goes, here's what I expect. Here's what you can't do. This, and this. Do you have any questions? Nope. If Jermaine Duran and Misha went, do you have any questions? Yes. Can I hit a bitch after the bell? Definitely not. Okay, thank you. Like if that's what you wanted to do, and then I think McCarthy or one of the refs like, it's up to the ref to get in there. They shouldn't be going by the bells, and sometimes you're in the heat of the battle and you can't hear the bell. Well, Joanna has how many fights? 100, including her kickbox fights. She's never hit anyone after the bell. It's never been a problem before. What are we talking about?
And even more to her credit, I don't want to talk bad about her. To her credit, yeah, you know what? Until that ref stops it and jumps in, you do your thing. Ref didn't jump in. Whose fault is that? It's not your fault, okay? Well, it kind of is.
It kind of is.
It kind of is. But listen, that's something I can live with. You know, you deal with the situations where I don't know. Is this 12-6? I don't know. Yeah. I'm just going for it. Yeah. Crap, is this back of the head? I don't know. I'm just going for it.
But if you want to get rid of it, Phil, you know what you do? If you hit an opponent after the bell, in any case, point deduction.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you kick someone in the nuts where there's no warnings, point deduction.
Thank you.
If you get someone in the eye, a la Jon Jones style, a la Travis Browne style, if you do that, there's no warnings, deduction. Because it changes the dynamics of the fight.
You will not open up your hands again.
And you won't hit anyone after the bell.
Yep.
You're going to think twice about throwing that low kick that high.
That high.
The groin.
Yep.
Like it changes
everything.
There should be no tolerance policy. You got to point to it, but then it takes the pressure off the ref. Yes. The ref can't go, God, should I warn him? It doesn't matter. The rule is if you get kicked in the nuts, poke in the eye, hit after the bell.
It takes 15 seconds. Somebody say they get kicked in the nuts. Stop it. Let me double check. Watch the video. Okay, 1 point.
Yes.
1 point. We're good.
Yep. The fighter goes, my eye. Let's look at, was that open hand? Yep. That's 1 point. He can't see. Mitrione, Travis Browne. Mitrione can't see.
He could not
He's doing well. He can't see at all. And then you send him back out there.
Yep.
And then, again, in Holly's fight, it's a close fight.
And by the way, I knew
rocked.
He couldn't see out of that darn eye. He sucked it up like a freaking grown man.
I know, man.
Went out there fighting, only seeing out of one eye. I got hit once. Rumble hit me. I couldn't see out of my freaking eye, dude. In all of my classes and science where you need two eyes for depth perception. That never really makes sense. You close your eyes, you're still in the same spot. You know what? When you're in a fight and you have blood in your eye, you understand that you don't have depth perception. He was moving, I was moving, and I was like an inch away on every punch. And I was like, how come I can't? He's not there.
Yeah.
I can't touch him.
And you had blood in your eye, or was it from the glove? What happened?
It was, I mean, he hit me clean in the eye. I mean, he's supposed to. It was with his fist.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
And so your eye started bleeding?
Yep.
What people don't realize is when you get blood in your eye, the blood is so oily and thick, you blink and it's just like a film. It's like your eyes one of those little seals in the oil rig, in the water. Like it just doesn't wipe off.
Scariest thing of my life. It's like watching a Quentin Tarantino film, and somebody gets shot in the head and blood just comes down from the top. Dang. That's what it was like. It was like, you can't see. Good luck.
Good luck. And when you do, it's going to be blurry and red. Yeah. Oh, and there's Anthony Rumble Johnson wants to do that to your other eye. It's like, God, dog. And I do this for a living? Correct. Was Rumble Johnson for you? Was that one of your hardest fights?
It absolutely was. He caught me early.
Style matchup, man.
And I could not battle back into the fight. I was surviving the rest of the fight. I mean, he nailed me early. It was an uppercut. Boom. Split me right over my right eye. That was it. I couldn't battle back into that fight.
And what do you think of DC versus Rumble now? Because obviously the first one, Rumble lands that huge overhand, sits DC down. DC gets up, does work. And then when the going gets rough with Rumble, it's my only knock on that guy. When the going gets rough, he kind of finds a way out.
Right.
He's a bully fighter.
Yeah.
Same as Ronda. And same as certain guys, they're bully fighters. Where when it's going their way and they're can inflict their will, they're beating anyone in the world. But as soon as you stick up to that bully, they're like, shit.
Yep. He's got to. That's exactly right. He's got to get to the point where he's not giving up any positions. He's got to keep his back off of the fence. That's going to be big against DC. If DC gets inside of you, he will underhook you. He will run you to the fence. Nothing you learned in a 12-week fight camp of wrestling will prepare you for a 2-time Olympian throwing an underhook on you. That's it. Bro, you're going to the fence if he puts an underhook on you.
Dude, I sparred DC. We sparred 5 or 6 rounds before I fought Travis Browne. And he goes, do you want to just do striking? I'm like, no, I don't want to do striking without everything. So takedowns, everything. His takedowns, it was just to him, it's second nature. He'd get an underhook, and I was going for a right every time.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good at wrestling. And it's just when you're with a 2-time Olympian who that's his language, It didn't matter. Dan Gable could have been giving me tips in my ear. He could have been training me for a year straight. And against DC, it does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's what people don't realize. That level of wrestling, when you're at that level, when DC's that
if you're good enough to stop it, I would have saw you in the World Championships.
Correct, sir. Correct.
I tell you,
so you have to avoid that underhook.
Yes,
you can't play that game at all.
At all.
And for Johnson, I think it's tough because early on, he's the most dangerous fighter in the world. The first round, the most dangerous fighter in the world. Hardest hitter in the world. Ask Glover how that worked out.
If we go pound for pound in the first round, I put him number one.
Number one, by far.
Number one.
Good luck. But if you can get out of that first round and DC can get his underhook, get his head position, it wears on Rumble. It just does. That's not his game.
It does. It's I tell you what, even when I was fighting Rumble, as the rounds went on, I was like, God, I don't think he has another one of those big whoppers in him.
No.
Well, thank God. I was like, I can't take one.
Yeah. but you had that fight with Rumble where you lost, but then you had the fight with Glover, who again, the first round, 2 rounds, he hits like a Mack truck.
He does.
And again, Glover doesn't get this recognition. This is what I said was going to happen in his fight. I wanted to see him use his wrestling, use his grappling, because he is a black belt. He did compete in Abu Dhabi.
Yes,
People forget. But your fight against Glover was one of those fights where he was this huge knockout artist. That's what everyone framed at. But people forget he can grapple his ass off.
Yes, he
and you
can.
out-grappled him.
Yeah. Well,
in Brazil. You got the decision.
Oh, my gosh.
And then you beat Lyoto in Brazil.
People
they weren't doing you any favors. You know that, right?
Oh, no.
Someone was like, how can we fuck Phil Davis? Oh, Glover in Brazil. They're like, yes, brilliant.
We have to get his Phil. We have to beat him somehow.
Dude, they tried everything. I mean, Brazil going to the judge against Glover and then Machida, man. I mean, have fun with that.
I tell you what, those are two, especially the Machida fight, dude. That was a scary night. That was a scary night, man. The week before I fought Machida, maybe 2 weeks before, there was a soccer game that went south. One guy gets a red card. So he comes over to the ref, beats up the ref, just hammers him, right? He's like beating this ref up. The ref does what any of us would have done, goes into his sock, pulls out a knife, stabs the guy to death.
What?
Yes, sir. Dies right on the field.
This is in Brazil?
In Brazil.
You're at the game?
Are you crazy?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
God damn.
No.
God, dog. I mean, that's some Brazilian shit.
Yo, it's crazy. Dies on the field, okay? Now, the fans up in the crowd, it's 100-something thousand fans.
For sure.
They said, no, buddy, we're not having that. They charged the field and it killed him too.
Damn.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay.
Brazil's a different animal. Did you have
if we go to the judges in Brazil, listen, I'll just shake your hand and you can have it.
Did you have an escape route? Did they do that with you? Because with me, the UFC security was like, listen, if you knock Nogueira out, here's our escape route. This is the way you're going to go. You're not going to stick around for the press conference or anything like that. This is the gate you're going to go through. Here's the guys. You're going to go out this way. Everyone thinks you're going this way. Like, we already had a plan.
Right, exactly.
I was like a big favorite. I was supposed to knock him out. Obviously, didn't end up going that way, so they didn't have to worry about shit. But they're like, if you murk this dude, and they're like, wink, this is the way you go. I'm like, all right, cool. It's nuts around here.
Oh, dude, it's scary.
And then when you were out there, did you have security with you? Like, I had dudes with AK-47s everywhere I went.
I didn't go nowhere.
You just stay in the hotel?
Yes. Oh. Man, you know what's crazy? They tell you when you go to Brazil, they're like, don't go anywhere after like 5 or 6. And whatever you do, don't take a cab and don't take public transit.
Yep.
And also don't go anywhere. Don't go to the beach after dark.
Yeah.
And don't go to the beach by yourself.
And then don't use room service. And then don't use your cell phone. Don't look anyone in the eye. Just stay in your room. But don't watch the TV.
You can breathe the air, but don't yawn. Don't take a deep breath.
Don't inhale. Just don't. It is crazy fighting out there, man. It's a different animal.
Oh my God. Most people will never understand.
Bellator hasn't gone to Brazil, right? They're doing their Italy thing, but they haven't gone to Brazil.
Not yet. I think Scott Coker's a freaking evil genius. They're really like zeroing in on these markets that haven't been opened yet. Italy, I don't think UFC's been there. They've had 2 fights in Milan.
That's right.
And they're going back for a third one in pretty soon.
And then you guys have your big fight in London coming up.
London's always a great crowd.
Is that Roy Daly? Are they on the London card or no? Did they decide
I'm not
that?
sure. I'm not sure. Sure, it's somewhere on the interweb.
So for you, before we get you out of here, you're just looking at maybe Bader next, and then, or would you be open to like a Chael? Even though Chael Sonnen just lost, are you down for those gangster weight fights?
Oh yeah, for sure. For the right guys, yeah, absolutely. You know what? I feel like I train with heavyweights and I do well with heavyweights. When you start talking about like the top heavyweights in the world, I'm like, I don't want to fight them.
But but in Bellator, like, if you fought Fedor, I'd take you over Fedor. If you fought Mitrione, I'd take you over Mitrione. If Chuck Congo, give me Phil Davis. Like if I go through the current list of heavyweights in Bellator, I got you favored in all those fights.
Yeah. Well, it was
Chael Sonnen. I mean, he walks around. He's about 230.
Chael's not the same Chael. When was the last time you saw him?
4 weeks ago, he was in here.
Oh, before his fight or after?
Before.
Well, he was already small for his fight, but
yeah,
I saw him probably a month before that. Dude, he was looking small. I've only seen Chael smaller than me a couple times in my life. We fought together in L.A. back in the day. He fought Anderson that night.
Oh, okay.
He fought Anderson. I was like, okay, he's
Who'd
small.
you fight that night?
I fought Rodney Wallace.
Oh, gotcha.
Rodney Wallace, yeah. That was my third fight in, and I took it on 8 or 9 days.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Rodney Wallace. Okay. Anyways, give me fight. No, but you're referring to Chael back in the TRT exemption Chael.
Yeah. He's nowhere near that size anymore.
No.
It's crazy.
He's definitely smaller.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
He used to be your size. He's like an Anthony Johnson guy.
We used to train together.
Yeah.
And I thought he was bigger than me. And he was like, one of the best things about you is you don't realize your size. I'm like, bitch, we're the same size. Like, what are you talking about? You keep saying how like I'm getting positions on you because I'm bigger. We're the same size. Matter of fact, you might be bigger. Like, what are you talking about? Were you surprised with the outcome of Tito and Chael?
Completely blown away. I had money on him.
You had money on Chael?
Yeah, I had money on Chael. It was funny. I was the day before I went to watch Penn State versus Iowa in Iowa wrestling match. So me and my boys met up and we went to the match. It was awesome. Then afterwards, we all stuck around and watched the Bellator fights. And they were like, "Who you got, Phil?" I was like, "All right, I got Chael." And they all picked Tito.
Really? Are they fans of the sport, or did they just know Tito because he's so famous? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They just kind of know Tito from TV. So I was like, thank you guys. And so I bet 3 people. They all wanted action. I said, okay.
They wanted action. Those are good bets though for you.
So I said, all right, cool. I'll take that bet.
Dude.
And I'm usually pretty good at MMA bets.
I have friends who they bet a lot of money on MMA and they go, Tito Chael. And I went, honestly, man, I think, Tito, it's his last fight. You might 1 foot out the door. Chael wants this. He's fought, more. I just feel like Chael should have won the fight.
I couldn't be more proud for Tito.
Me too.
Though.
He's one of my favorites, man.
I couldn't be more proud for the guy.
Freaking love Tito.
Yeah. Especially, he just had so many ups and downs over the years, and for him to finish on a high note, he can't come back. If he tries to, I'll slap him.
Please don't come back. Just end on that.
You
high
have
note.
to, bro. That was.
I love him. him.
Man. And every time I thought he was going to call it, he would end on have a big win. I was like, yeah, all right, Tito still got it, And
before we get into fan questions, break down the Fedor versus Mitrione fight this weekend.
Oh gosh, it's hard to break that down because both guys live on. Just a powerful right hand, left hook.
But with the big X factor for me in this one is what Fedor shows up.
Yes,
the Fedor that fought Maldonado, or I think that's how you say it. Maldonado. And he looked terrible. He actually lost that fight.
Yeah. Maldonado gives, I got a teammate, Joey Beltran. And Joey Beltran, when he fights you, it's absolute hell until the fight. Yeah, oh my God. He will make the cleanest striker look terrible because he runs at you and he'll either way, you're going to lead. Yeah, he's a brawler. He is a brawler. And I feel like that's the kind of guy Maldonado is.
Yeah.
and he just destroyed what the game plan that Fedor wanted to do.
That's fair.
He had like a clean striking. I want to hit you, ha ha cha.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
and he couldn't do that.
That's an awkward fight. I feel like Fabiano. I think it's his style made that fight look really bad, but. You're talking about Fedor, people pound for pound best of all time.
Of all time.
So you're supposed and then Fabiano really, with that dad bod, probably a 85er, maybe a 70er if he had the right nutritionist. And then he's fighting at heavyweight with his tits and love handles hanging out the side. And then, he even tried rejecting the results. He contested them, and we thought it was going to get overturned.
Really?
In Russia. Russia was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
it's Russia.
Son, listen.
That's Fedor. What are you thinking? So let's say a legit Fedor shows up, and obviously Mitrione's a monster. How do you see it going down? You have any predictions for it?
I will say this. I think. Well, I don't think. I think. I said I don't think. Mitrione's a faster guy. He has really fast
right
feet.
now.
Yeah, he's an agile big guy, and as long as he doesn't have a slow start like he did in his last one, I see him winning it.
That's the scariest thing. I think if Matt. If mentally he's there and he's there to play the game, I think Matt should win. The scary thing for me is Matt is a slow start, and you look at Matt, not his last fight, the one before that, where he got murked and got sat down.
That's the one I'm thinking
and
of.
And then came back.
Yeah.
With
you don't want that.
With Fedor, that's not happening. You're not going to get sat down and come back. It's like you get sat down, and then you're back in the locker room like, what the hell happened? Fedor landed a huge overhand.
You fought Fedor.
Did
the fight happen?
You fought the Fedor.
Yep.
Yeah. What happened? The Fedor. The Fedor, sir.
Yeah.
So it's literally a toss-up.
Here's the thing.
I don't think he goes
when Matt
past
comes
around.
out, he paws a lot with his jab hand. And I think when he can't, I wouldn't do that against Fedor. You will not mix him up at all.
No.
That's not a trick that will work on him.
No. He's seen it all.
He's seen it.
Yes.
He's seen it.
Yes.
So you just got to be composed and just hit him with a combo. Hit him, feint, combo.
And definitely don't shoot for a takedown like you did against Ben Rothwell. When Matt did that, I was like, what are you doing, son? What are you doing? Don't with Fedor's hips, man, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't think this fight goes past around.
Good leg locks.
Oh, ridiculous.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I would
With
never leave
Sambo?
my feet around him.
Again, I think it's whoever, brings, or really who lands that first shot.
Yep.
I think both of them are going to
There it
go
is.
for the knockout early in the round. I don't think it goes past the first round.
Yeah,
Huge
no.
fight for Matt. Huge. Fedor, he's kind of, his legacy's cemented.
Yeah.
For Matt, this is a big one for him. So we'll see, man. Chin, let's get some fan questions.
Sounds
and then
good.
we'll get my boy out of here. Really appreciate you coming down, man. That's not an easy drive.
It's all good. And like I said, it was good till 405. 405 just sucks.
God, it can be the worst, man.
Sucks.
That's why, I don't know what you have else
I was
going
like
on
all the
today,
way
but
to Westminster, and then it just shut
it
down
just
on
stops.
me. Shut
It stops.
down on me.
It's a nightmare sometimes.
All right, Phil. The first one is from Lionhearted 5. What was the first thing you did after you won the title?
What was the first thing I did after I won the title? Well, I went to the back and I chewed up a couple ibuprofen. That's always good. That's I remember when I first started fighting, I would just go to the fight with my stuff. I didn't bring anything.
What do you mean?
I would just go up to the fight with my cup, my mouthpiece.
Oh, you'd wear it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All my stuff, and now I'm good.
Yeah.
Now I bring ibuprofen just in case.
Oh, yeah.
I mean that's a standard thing.
It's a must. Yes.
Win, lose, or draw, you need ibuprofen.
Sir, and I would even bring OxyContin.
Well, there you go. That's not a bad idea. So I had ibuprofen and switched into my nice clothes. Went to the press conference. After the press conference, we I think we got a bite to eat, and then
Was it kind of expected? Is that why you didn't go kind of nuts? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you signed Bellator, I'm like, Phil obviously is going to be champ there. So when you got it, it's like, yeah, no shit, I'm champ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think
Liam McGregor, I really expected that fight to be a war. And my game plan, because he's such a wizard on the ground, was to keep it standing as long as possible, put him up against the fence, beat him there, make him want to go to the ground, but never let him go to the ground.
Yeah, don't let him get what he wants.
Right. And then somehow we ended up on the ground, and it was just this, you know when you feel a guy, and you're like, oh, you gonna let me get away with
This is it? Yeah.
You gonna let me get away with no, player. We're gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You getting this all 5 rounds. Yeah. Enjoy this. Yeah.
So
yeah, I think, I don't, with that question, I don't expect you to say anything crazy because it's like, of course Phil's champion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
cool. All right, Austin Dongyu. How's the transition to Bellator been? And he writes, Phil Davis is defiantly the Columbus of Bellator. Like Chris
Columbus. I say the Rosa Parks, but I guess Columbus.
you could say Columbus. It has kind of a negative sting.
Yeah.
In the history books.
Yeah, Columbus. He's also white. Yeah.
We can't do that in Black History Month.
No, we can't.
We'll stand up for our freedom fighters.
That's right, man.
So what was the question? What was it like, the transition?
The transition, yeah. How's it been so far?
I tell you, just like Big Browne said, I say this all the time. Scott Coker is like the Bill Belichick of fighting. People want to fight for him. Mm-hmm. They enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's our job. It's the same. Another dude is going to be in that cage waiting to rip your head off no matter what. But people enjoy fighting for Scott Coker. And he's made everything from signing to fighting and all the interim, doing, shows here and there and fan fest. He's made it smooth. He texts me when he wants something. If he needs something, ask me. I text him. I had an opportunity to go do something overseas, and I asked him, because when somebody's like taking care of you, I want to make sure I'm straight with him. Hey, is this okay with you?
Same level of respect.
Right. Yeah. He's like, maybe hold off on that. I was like, okay, cool. No worries. Even though the money's good, we're good. Don't worry about it.
If you look at Scott Coker's track record. I mean, look at the guys he discovered in Strikeforce. It's insane, man.
Insane.
Who are currently the biggest names in the UFC.
Yeah.
Or were the biggest names in the UFC, and now they're big names in Bellator. It's insane.
It's insane.
It's crazy. It's everyone. Literally go through someone, ask me, and I'll let you know. It's usually
the answer's usually yes.
They usually have a tie to Scott Coker. Usually discovered him. Ask DC. Ask Misha Tate. Ask Ronda Rousey. Robbie Lawler. Diaz, brother. I mean, I can keep going if you want.
Keep on.
It's crazy, man.
It's
Rockhold,
Woodley.
I mean, the list. I mean, go through all the guys. Yeah. It's nuts.
And you know what's crazy? I remember when I was in the UFC and guys across the aisle were in Strikeforce, and I was like, well, those guys are making money.
Yes, they were getting paid, son.
Those guys are making. That's not a bad look over there.
I know.
I might want to slide out for a little. So, that's the kind of guy Scott is.
Yep, I agree.
And he's a crazy story, man. He's been promoting fights since he was 20 years old.
Because he started with kickboxing, right?
Yeah.
That's where the Strikeforce came from.
Exactly.
Yep.
And now he's back at it again with Bellator kickboxing.
That's right.
Dude, he's getting these freaking Dutch kickboxers that are just nuts.
He just loves the game.
He does. He loves the game.
The reason why it's going to work for him is because he doesn't do a lot of things just for the paycheck or just for the hype. Mm-hmm. He's a purist of the sport. Mm-hmm. He actually gives a shit about Phil Davis.
Yeah.
Which is so rare.
It is.
Sports.
I mean, and that's what allows him, I think, to be one of those guys that guys like fighting for. I mean, he will convey that in so many different ways. The shows, the matchups, so you see that and it's like, man, this is a cool guy. This is a cool opportunity.
Yep.
This is a cool opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So
what else you got, Chin?
All right, Joshua Andrew R is asking thoughts on probable moves to Bellator by Ryan Bader, which you guys kind of talked about, and sure. Lorenz Larkin.
Lorenz Larkin, yes, he's the big free agent.
Yep, he's Lorenz is he's up on he's on deck. I think he has. Does he have a fight next, or is he free?
I think he's free.
He's
now.
free.
Yeah.
He's free, and the UFC removed him from their roster.
Well, he free and gone.
Yeah,
free and clear. As
free and clear. Yeah, all clear on Bellator's end. He'd be a big signing. Like he's not a mainstream name yet, which is crazy.
It is
but
crazy.
He's so talented.
He's come in. He beat a couple really good guys. He beat. Was he Strikeforce champ?
He wasn't champ, but he did fight there. He's a guy who you look at his wins in the UFC. He's a handful, man.
Oof, handful. Then he caught a bad beat. Something happened. I forget. I don't know if it was a bad weight cut or something. Something went on with him.
Bring up his record,
out.
Chin. He's a guy who he's beat some really good guys, and he's just awkward as hell to fight too.
Yep.
Great takedown defense, unconventional striking.
He's really powerful. I trained with him a bunch. For.
Oh, remember he murked Neil Magny. He beat
Rashad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's a good fight.
And he was fighting Mo. I was like, oh well, hell, this is perfect.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's had some rough losses, but then, as of late, he beat Robbie Lawler by decision. He's had some good. He'd be a good signing for them. Mm-hmm. And again, Jorge Masvidal, who he beat him a split decision, which could have went either way. But Jorge, obviously, is this guy who's making all these waves right now. And then he just completely murked Neil Magny, who's ranked 8 right now. But that'd be a big signing for Bellator, just because you guys, the biggest knock on Bellator is depth. You just need depth.
Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, man. People forget. He's had some weird losses, but yeah, he'd be a great signing for you guys.
Absolutely.
What else you got, Chin?
Want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Luke 9-4 Rose. Phil Davis, what was your craziest story from the Penn State days?
Oh man.
Hey, were you there when my boy Pat Cummins was there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you and Pat were teammates?
Yeah.
So Pat was a heavyweight, right?
Pat was a heavyweight, and I was a red shirt or just coming out of college or high school. He was a 5th-year senior, so we were on the team that year. And then my next year, my first year in the actual lineup, he just stuck around and like grad assisted and coached and wrestled with us. And dude, he's just one of those guys that's just super solid.
Might be the toughest guy I know. Mm-hmm. He's just so tough.
Yep.
And
he lost a tooth and got tougher.
Yes. It made him tougher.
Crazy.
Yeah. He's the guy where when we'd spar, he has no chill.
No.
I'm like, bro, you're not going to get a UFC bonus if you knock me out. Why are you going so goddamn hard? He's just, he has no chill. He has no chill.
He wants to fight it tonight in the practice room.
Every round. It's like, bro, I just can't right now. Like, they would ask me to go with him. Like, I'm a week out from my fight. I can't. And then Pat like, no, we're just going to move around. I'm like, there's no move around with you. You're trying to rip my head off. I don't get it. He's such a hard worker, man.
Yeah, he is. He is. Him and all his brothers.
But did you have some crazy times at Penn State?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think.
I mean, you're there during the Sandusky days.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, that was a weird thing, that whole thing.
Kind of ruined. I don't want to say ruined, but it definitely fucked up the legacy of Penn State with the Joe Paterno, who they said he had knowledge of all the things going on. Then Sandusky, obviously just this horrible human being. Because when you think of Penn State, there's so much legacy and there's so many good times and alumni and oh my God, it's Penn State, man.
I don't feel like too many people called it what it was. It was a guy who had too much money and privilege, and he was reported 3 times for doing the same thing.
It's crazy.
I don't care if it's cheating on a test. Let me tell you, that cannot happen to a black or brown person.
No.
Mm-hmm. You can barely get pulled over.
You're right.
Not accused of anything.
You're right. He got white privilege for a little bit, and then finally, like, God, dog. 50 kids?
Yeah.
We got to do something about that.
Come on. And I don't want to, there's enough division in the world, but it's that whole thing, it took down a lot of people, and I really wished more had been done sooner.
I agree, but now the good thing is, because let's be real, Penn State lives and dies off its football program. Mm-hmm. And they're even on. They have some bad suspension stuff like that, and the NCAA is disciplining them. But they had a great year. Mm-hmm. They had an amazing year. They beat Ohio State.
I think they should have been in the championship for crying out loud.
They were a damn good team this year. So I think that, to me, I didn't even think about the Sandusky stuff last year with Penn State because the football team was rolling again.
Yeah,
You guys are always good.
Gosh, it was great too because honest to God, the NCAA stepped in. Took away scholarships from kids who had nothing to do with anything.
Nothing to do with it.
I don't know why you would ever do that. But I guess
just discipline the program.
It's like a jab at someone that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's not like a Penn State.
It's like I didn't touch any boys. What the fuck? I didn't know. What the hell?
Yeah, this people plan out their life. To go to the school that's in their backyard. That happened to be Penn State for me. Yeah, for a lot of guys.
Was that your dream growing up?
Yeah,
Penn State.
Yep. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
And do you go back? I saw maybe it was Bellator. I saw because you're in the Hall of Fame there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a picture. It shows all these guys, and it showed your picture. You're like, God, I forget how big of a deal you were in college.
Yeah,
you're in the Hall of Fame, son.
Yeah, you know what? It's crazy because I want to take my son back just so I can.
How old's your son?
He's 4.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to take him back so I can show him like pictures on the wall. There's like another graphic of me like 6 foot tall.
That's so cool, man.
And just it's an amazing, for me, it's like an amazing place because they redid the wrestling room and the sports complex. And around the campus, there's these old pictures of people back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And to have my picture on the wall
at Penn State?
At Penn State.
What are we talking about, Phil?
Yeah.
That's insane,
It's
brother.
insane.
That's such an honor.
It's such an honor. And I completely didn't appreciate it until I was gone.
Till now.
Yeah.
When you're going through it, you're like, yeah, great. Put that shit up.
Yeah. You should have chosen a good picture.
Yeah. That's the picture. Do you want your son to follow in your footsteps? Because I have a 1-year-old son now.
Yeah. Well, where I'm at in Southern California, it's tough for wrestling, man. It's tough. A lot of programs don't have like junior high, let alone elementary. And Pennsylvania is just like a puppy mill for tough wrestlers.
Yeah.
It's just, just everywhere you go. Once you turn 5 years old, you're in a singlet. You're
it's
gone.
a different animal out there. He's gonna have other options. What happens if he wants to be a mixed martial artist? Because now, like, if he goes, Dad, I want to be like you, and you're, oh well, Penn State, the wrestling. He goes, wrestling? I don't want to do that boring shit. I want to fight. And you could go to an academy where they teach you mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way to go. I think you should have a huge, base in something where you're great at that. Like you were great at wrestling, then you added the other stuff, but you have that foundation.
I think that's going to still be important, is to have a base in something. The opportunity to be the best in the world when you get hit, to be able to draw back on, you know what? I'm still one of the best guys in the world at wrestle. I'm still one of the best guys in the world at BJJ. I'm still one of the best guys in the world at head kicks.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. It's great to be able to draw on that when times get tough.
So if your son wants to do mixed martial arts, are you going to let him?
I'll let him do anything.
Really?
Yeah, he can do anything. I'm pushing baseball. I love baseball.
I hear you, son. I'm hoping my kid's get like tennis or some shit or baseball where he doesn't get brain trauma.
Oh, my gosh.
He's obviously going to gravitate towards football, and even now they have like all these jerseys for him. Like my old jerseys, they make kid sizes for him. So he's going to grow up, and I love football. He's going to watch football, but I don't know. I think... let's say your son, because you were so good at wrestling. Let's say your son's in middle school and he's just a guy. And he's like, Dad, I'm going to wrestle at Penn State.
Oh.
And if my son's just a guy on the football team, he's like, Dad, I'm going to play at USC. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But listen, let's focus on your education, because let me show you this kid. Like if he's just a guy, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, man.
Yep.
You know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
How many guys have you seen who maybe they're walk-ons, or in football I saw, walk-ons and all these guys where it's just, you're almost wasting your time, brother.
Mm-hmm. And especially to have to try to live up to a reputation or a family name.
Is his name Phil Davis Jr.?
Phil Davis Jr.
It is Phil Davis Jr.?
Yeah.
Well, goddamn! He's gonna want to wrestle at Penn State. Why you do that to the little dude? Now he has to wrestle.
I mean, that's why baseball's cool. You
That's
barely
true.
run.
That's true. My God, I'm sweating
Hey,
for the
dude,
Phil Davis Jr.
How bad do you want to play one of those sports where you can eat what you want?
Oh my God!
What?
God, what? Dog. I'm in entertainment now, and I feel like my diet's more strict. I was on this audition the other day. It was down to me, one other guy. They bring me in. They go, yeah, everything was great on tape. Now, are you always this big? Or I was like, what? Well, are you always like this, this big? I go, well, yeah. I woke up like I was born like this. Like I'm not on roids. I don't know what you're asking. Like, yeah, no, maybe kind of just get a little thinner. I'm like, oh, okay. And since then, I've just been on this crazy diet.
You want to see thin?
I know.
I've seen The Machinist.
But it's just a different animal. Like, it's just different animal. Man. Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny you say that, because now I'm like, I kind of want to make sure I'm always pretty lean.
Dude, and I'm going to preface this with no homo. You got the best body in MMA. Me and Brian Callen talk about this all the time. I talk about this on Rogan. We go, best body in MMA. Like, Phil Davis, hands down. You got those wings, son. Like, we'll get you out here after this. What do you walk around at? What are you right now?
220.
220. So the 205 cut's not a nightmare, but you're lean.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, and at least a gallon of water a day, I should say. So at the end of fight camp, I'm usually weighing out of practice about 2.8, 2.9. But here's the kicker. So my last fight, I'm weighing out of practice 2.9. I was like, oh, yeah, this is perfect. And I take off Saturday and Sunday and fly to Connecticut on Monday. I get there and I'm like 223. I'm like, this is not what I planned
for. What happened?
That's it.
Just ton of salt or something?
No.
I
was still in my meal prep. I was just that's what 2 days of not working out looks like.
Damn.
That's a lot of
sensitive.
Yeah.
That's a ton of water weight.
That's exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
Dang.
Well, I mean, that's the way it should be. You got
to stay on it. You're
exactly.
super disciplined. That's why you're at where you're at, brother. That's why you got pictures on the wall at Penn State, because you're so disciplined. You're a stud, man. And again, you're one of my favorites. I appreciate you coming on the show, brother. Man. Driving all the way from San Diego. And are you going to be at the fights this weekend?
Yes.
I can't decide if I'm going to be there or not. I'm going to try and be there.
Okay.
But if I'm there, I'll see you there, brother.
Yeah.
Bellator this weekend. Fedor, Mitrione, Phil Davis to be cage side, and obviously your Twitter's at Phil Davis?
Twitter's at Phil Mr. Wonderful, and Instagram, I don't know why anybody would want to be me, but somebody stole Phil Mr. Wonderful on Twitter.
I was looking for it today.
On Instagram.
It's gone. For sure, give that to Phil.
Yeah. But, so I'm at Phil MRW on Instagram.
There it is. All right, man. Mr. Wonderful in the building. Can't thank you enough, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
That was great, man.